Cento Fine Italian Food, the company that says trust your family with our family. And by Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield. Carry us for life.
Any professional painter will tell you that if you want results like these, you gotta know the tricks of the trade. You gotta ask Sherwin-Williams. Now, these are guys you can trust. They've got good paint, good price, good advice. Guaranteed. Want to know something? I didn't paint this house. The guy that lives there did. Hey, fella, nice job. This guy knows what the pros know. Ask Sherwin-Williams.
Upper Deck asked a few average card collectors whose cards they collect.
I collect Steve Young.
I collect endorsements.
I collect back doctors, surgeons,
Rings.
I collect fines.
I just collect fishing lures. The musky dingbat.
Dingbat.
I have a 56 powder blue Chevy. Powder blue? A Ferrari. I collect Reggie. Rolls Royce.
Reggie.
Really? Not.
Yeah. The smooth.
Original interior, original carpet, drives like a dream.
Do Texaco food marts really have everything?
Oh, they have gum, cheese, candy,
Many reasons I come to Texaco.
chips, cereals, nice people.
There are many reasons.
You want it, they got it. If they don't have it, you don't need it.
And that candy that pulls apart like that.
Did I skip something?
Visit your Texaco station and food mart for unbeatable System 3 gasoline
Pop comes here for System 3, and I come here for Pop. Right, Mom?
and just about everything else.
I'd recommend it to anybody. And I would, too.
Budweiser and the Phillies are celebrating the 4th of July holiday weekend with the Bud Summer Baseball Bash. It's a special tent party outside Veterans Stadium on Monday, July 5th before the Phillies-Dodgers game. Right now, be the 17th caller to 1-800-432-1745 and win 4 tickets to the party and the game. You'll join us for food, music, and surprises, and then watch the Phillies play the Dodgers. It's the Bud Summer Baseball Bash with Budweiser and the Phils. So bring on the Dodgers and bring on the Bud.
Welcome to Veterans Stadium for tonight's game between the Phillies and the NL West second place Houston Astros. Let's check out the Houston lineup for tonight. Brought to you by Sherwin-Williams, Craig Biggio, followed by Steve Finley, then Jeff Bagwell, cleanup hitter Eric Anthony, Ken Caminetti bats 5th, Luis Gonzalez, Scott Service, Andujar Cedeno, and the pitcher Darryl Kyle.
And defensively for the Eastern Division leading Philadelphia Phillies, John Kruk at first base, Mickey Morandini is at second, Mariano Duncan is at short, and David Hollins at third. Pete Incaviglia plays left with Lenny Dykstra in center and Jim Eisenreich in right. Darren Dalton is behind the plate, and on the mound, 24-year-old right-hander Ben Rivera. Big Ben's last start, as we mentioned in the open, was this past Wednesday at Cincinnati. Against the Cincinnati Reds, he was the winning pitcher in the Phillies' 5-2 victory. It was his longest and best outing of the season. In that ball game, he pitched 8 innings, did give up 8 hits, 2 runs, had a career-high 9 strikeouts, and walked only 2. Hey, Andy, when we watched that ball game and we talked about it last Wednesday, that could be the game to get Big Ben jump-started. And I think probably the thing that I noticed most, and we mentioned it a couple times during the telecast, during that ball game, there were a couple spots in there where he got a little bit shaky, but the majority of the time when he was in control, the fastball was down in the strike zone.
And he was getting his curveball over, which is necessary for him to do. He really had command of his pitches that night, and it was encouraging to see him finally get that together. That's Mark Hirschbeck. He will be calling balls and strikes with Brian Gorman at first, Bruce Fremming, the crew chief, at second, and Jerry Davis over at third base. And we've got some clouds in the area. 74 degrees as the ball game begins, and a chance of showers maybe after 9 o'clock according to what I heard, but only certain areas. So let's hope that South Philadelphia isn't one of them. You know, the Phillies have beaten the Astros all 4 times they've met this year. You talk about jump starting. The Phillies' entire season was jump started by beating the Astros 3 in a row at the Dome to start the season.
And really put the Astros in a hole early. Since then, they have played very good baseball. You know, you take that first 3-game series out of there against the Phillies, and the Astros would be right there in the hunt for the National League West lead. But Art House Ball Club right now, a few beats behind, but really not that far back.
They are 4 games out as we start tonight. They've picked up a half game today because the Giants lost to the Cardinals today. We'll be filling you in on the scores later. Here's Craig Biggio to lead it off, batting at .276, and he takes a strike. 9 homers, 18 runs batted in for Biggio. Biggio gets a base hit out into right center. Can they cut it off? No. It's going to be extra bases as it goes to the wall, and Dykstra gets it back. 2-base hit for Biggio. And the Astros right away get a base runner to second.
Biggio gets the ball down and away from him from Rivera. Big Ben has the ball down and tails back a little bit to the middle of the plate. And Biggio, not trying to pull the ball, slams it into right center field. Once it hits on that turf between the outfielders, Eisenreich has no chance, so Lenny just has to play it off the wall, hold Biggio to second.
Greg Biggio, the converted catcher, leads off with a 2-base hit. And that brings to the plate Steve Finley. He was out of the lineup last night. I was talking with Artie Howe on the field before the game, and Artie said, well, I just wanted to give him a night off. He really hasn't been hitting that much, and we need more production from him. Look at that, 6 runs batted in so far for Finley, and he has played 37 ball games. Now, he missed quite a few because he broke a wrist. Was on the DL, and here's a pop-up. Should be caught. Dalton near the dugout. Finley unable to move the runner, and that is a wasted out as Biggio stays at second.
See Darren Dalton coming over toward the dugout, takes that quick look to find out where those steps are. Once he knows where they're at, gets the feel of the warning track underneath him, knows exactly how far he can go. It's familiarity of the home ballpark. Dutch knows exactly how far he's got to go before he can get to that dugout, able to keep that play and make the play. So first battle of the evening, Finley trying to move Biggio to third base with nobody out, unable to do it.
Bagwell, who was the May Player of the Month in the National League, but welcome to June. Baggy's not been hitting, and ever since the final days of May, he's not been hitting a lick. But his season marks are so good that he's way up there in a number of statistical categories. And there is Rivera's curveball. Nice to see him get that over.
Well, we talked earlier in the telecast already about, the fastball being down. The reason why the fastball down is so important for Rivera is to throw the fastball down low, you have to release it out in front of you. You can't release it back by your head. It has to be in front. When your arm's in that position, you're in the position to throw the good curveball. The curveball has to be thrown from in front. So if the fastball's down, the curveball should be good.
That one's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bagwell, 71, hits third in the league.
What that does for a pitcher is it allows him to establish one release point. And if you're releasing all your pitches in the same area, much easier to keep in that rhythm rather than throwing one pitch out in front and one pitch back by your head.
Ben Rivera looking back at Biggio. Not off target by too much. Well, we want to send get well greetings tonight to Frank LaCourte. He's in Bryn Mawr Hospital recovering from some stomach problems, and certainly hope that the area's best dressed hairdresser gets back to work soon. That's a strike. Makes the count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Baggy, batting at .340. Bagwell is the only Astro to have appeared in every ball game. As a matter of fact, he has appeared now in 218 consecutive games, and believe it or not, that's the second longest streak in the major leagues as of the moment, and everybody knows who's got the longest one.
Number 1 is he's well away from that one, though. He's got a few centuries, I think, to go to catch up.
We're talking about Cal Ripken. Yeah, that's Ripken's only a couple of years shy now of doing what nobody thought possible for him to do, and it's still a long way away when you consider how minor injuries can keep you out of the lineup. But they never have Cal Ripken. Just a little low. 3-2 on Baggy. It's quite a walking lead that Biggio's getting.
Well, Mickey Morandini has tightened up a little bit at second base. I think that's why the conversation between Rivera and Duncan before. Duncan playing Bagwell to the hole, so it becomes Morandini's responsibility to hold Bagwell short and close at second base.
Curveball, but he missed with it, not by much. base on balls. Ben walked only 2 in 8+ innings against Cincinnati. Walks have been a problem for him coming into the ball game. A like number of walks and strikeouts, 32 and 32 in 49 innings. First and second with 1 out. Eric Anthony coming up. He's batting at .284. 4 home runs, 27 runs batted in for Anthony. 4 homers. Here's a guy that's going to hit 20 or 25 before the year's over, so he's going to have some streaks somewhere along the line. I guess you can't overestimate going strike 1, can you?
Well, it's the most important pitch of the entire sequence, because now the situation turns around. If it is strike 1, the pitcher's in charge. If it's ball 1, the hitter's in charge.
And when it's ball 2, the hitter's in more charge, and Dalton walks it out. Ben getting off to a bit of a shaky start after the leadoff double.
In this game, unlike some of the games early in the season when Ben was having problems, most of the fastballs that he was missing with upstairs. He has the ball down right now. It's just a matter of a small refinement to get that ball in the strike zone. Actually, a couple of those pitches were just below the strike zone.
And there's another one that's low. 3-0.
Well, if you're going to have control trouble early in the game, you would much rather have it low than high.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Gets a light on 3-0, and Kruk cannot reach it. Biggio's going to score. Bagwell comes to third. They're going to try to score him. He's being waved. Here's the throw to the plate. He scores. It's 2-0 Houston as Anthony goes to third. It'll be a triple for Anthony, and he drives in 2.
Behind in the count, Ben has to come in with a fastball. Does get this one up almost to the belt, not quite. Anthony with a 3-0 green light slams it into right field. Good relay from the right field side, but not in time at the plate. So the Astros have 2 runs on the board. Pod's quickly out to the mound there to have a talk with Ben.
Always a short one when Johnny comes out. Pods makes it short and sweet. So Ben Rivera now will face Ken Caminiti with a runner at third. Still only 1 out. Let's see where the Phillies play their infield. It'll be in at the corners, but back in the middle. There's a look at the Phillies defense. And that means the Phillies are basically conceding a run here if Caminiti can hit the ball anywhere but the corners. He's among the league leaders in doubles. He has 16 two-base hits to rank 4th. Ben not missing by much.
No, he's consistently over the plate. The ball's just below the strike zone right now, and not able to get the ball up to the Astro hitter's knees.
Caminiti, a 6-game hitting streak. That catches the corner. It's 1-1. Caminiti batting .455 during his hitting streak.
And what happens is early in the count, when you cannot throw the fastball over for strikes, you basically take the curveball out of play. You have to get ahead with the fastball, and that allows you then to use that good curveball.
There's his curveball, but it's ball 2. Doris Wennemer of Ocean City, New Jersey, is celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, number 70. Foul back. Like to wish 30th wedding anniversary greetings to Tom and Sandy Moore of Hilltown, Bucks County, Pennsylvania. The Astros have 2, and Caminiti wants to get him another one right here. Oh. Is he getting squeezed or what?
I think it's a situation where, if you're throwing strikes, they call strikes. If you're throwing balls, the borderline pitches become balls.
That's a strike there.
Ball is awful close.
3-2. Broken bat, loop to first. It's caught on the fly. That's a fly ball out. And so they don't get that runner in, and now the defense can play normal depth for Gonzalez. Kruk caught that ball in the air. Broken back liner.
Here we see the play. Ball coming to Kruk. Goes down to one knee, but actually gets that big glove underneath the ball. He knows that he's got in the air. Checks the runner at third. Now the only reason he goes over to first is that Caminetti kept on running down the line. So instead of taking a chance, go tag the bag, make sure.
Right. The umpire who was signaling the play was behind John, and he didn't want to turn around. Gonzalez runs up but does not bunt. Ball one. There's the ump at first, Brian Gorman, who made the call. Gonzalez has been hit by a pitch 7 times. He leads the National League in that category. Strike. 1-1. I wouldn't be surprised that Ben Rivera would get a psychological lift by keeping this third run off the board here.
Early in the ballgame, looking for any kind of a flush you can have, especially when you're having a rocky first inning.
Inside corner. Gonzalez did not flinch from it, but the call goes to Rivera, and it's 1-2. Gonzalez, a .295 lifetime hitter against the Phils.
And when you're on the mound, with the Philly ball club, 2 runs, and especially early in the ball game, doesn't scare you that much.
No. Shallow left field. Inky coming hard. He's there. The Astros get two hits, but they leave one in scoring position. So we go to the bottom of the first, and it's 2-0 Houston.
This is your world, genuine and true, working together in all that you do, and you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud, Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud. Do you want your car done right?
If you want your car done right, it has to be done by the right people.
We take care of our customers. We do the job right.
Quality all the way.
Experience counts. The customer comes first.
Satisfaction guaranteed.
We're only as good as our people. That's why Jiffy Lube is America's favorite oil change.
We got experience at Jiffy Lube.
Now let's check out the Sherwin-Williams starting lineup for the Phillies tonight. They trail 2-0 going into the bottom half, and Lenny Dykstra leads off, followed by Mariano Duncan, then John Kruk, Dave Hollins in the cleanup spot, Darren Dalton, Jim Eisenreich, Pete Incaviglia, Mickey Morandini, and pitcher Ben Rivera.
And defensively for our House Houston Astros, Jeff Bagwell is at first base, Craig Biggio at second, Andujar Cedeno at shortstop, and Ken Caminetti at third. Luis Gonzalez has left field with Steve Finley in center and Eric Anthony in right. Scott Service does the catching tonight for the Houston Astros, and on the mound 6'5", 185-pound right-hander Darryl Kyle. Kyle's a 3-pitch pitcher, fastball, curveball, split finger. He's got a fastball that runs both in and out. He's not real sure which direction it's going to go because of an inconsistent release. The ball just cuts and runs all over the place. But his big pitch and his key pitch is the big curveball. You alluded to the Bert Blyleven type curveball in the open. He's got that. That's the good news. The bad news is he has trouble throwing it over the plate for strikes. So if Kyle can get that curveball over, especially early in the count, he's going to be very difficult and make the job a lot easier for himself this evening.
Lenny Dykstra leads off, batting .278, ball one. Kyle's got the reputation of being a guy who's either very good or very bad. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of middle ground when Kyle pitches. A young man who got his first major league victory here at Veterans Stadium, June 23rd of '91. Bouncer right down to Baggy, and Lenny never dropped the bat, didn't go anywhere. Dykstra out, 1 down. That'll bring to the plate a very hot hitter, Mariano Duncan. 12 straight. That's a season best for any Phil this year. 377 during his streak, and 9 for his last 12 since they needed him here the other night when Kim Batiste hurt a hamstring, and they got him out of the back room and put him in a ball game, and he's got 9 for 12.
talking to Dan Stevenson last night, and he was telling me that Mariano was back in the video room when Kim pulled the hamstring. He said when he got up off that couch and started walking out to the clubhouse, he didn't think he was going to make it to the dugout more or less into the ball game.
Fouled at the plate, 1-1. Kim Batiste is on a day-to-day basis. He has the hamstring injury suffered here Friday, but they didn't think it was going to be serious. They still don't, and we should be seeing him here in another day or so. He was doing a nice job. There's the curveball, 2-1. But he missed. Duncan, hot versus the Astros this year, 6 hits and 12 at-bats versus Houston. Curveball for a strike, and he had Mariano flinching on that one.
We've been mentioning all year long about how patient the Phillies hitters are. It's going to be very important tonight against Kyle to make sure that you don't go out of the strike zone. Make him throw that ball in there, because you should be able to get a lot of counts where the count is in your advantage.
Foul away, and let's check the infield defense on Duncan. They really play him around to the left as a pull hitter. Duncan expected to hit the ball close to the line on the left side. See that big hole up the middle? Two. Uh-oh, look out. It got him. He's hit. Duncan hit by the pitch, and he'll gladly take the base.
Well, this is that erratic curveball we're talking about. This ball's a good 2 feet inside. Duncan tries to get out of the way, tries to jump up and get the ball between his legs. Actually caught him on the back of his front leg as he tried to get out of there. That's not a real soft landing for a guy that doesn't feel real well.
That is the 5th batter that Kyle has hit this year. And Teak, if you had to guess, you'd guess that most of them would be curveballs?
Well, rumor has it that he's just as erratic with his fastball, that he can miss by 3 or 4 feet with his fastball.
John Kruk steps in.
Equal opportunity wildness.
Here's Kruk batting at .357. Kruk tied for the league lead in walks, and he chased a high pitch. You talk about discipline. John liked that one and went out of the strike zone to swing. A look at Kruk's numbers over the last 26 ball games. John has actually been a .400 hitter. Astros 2, Phillies nothing. Kruk representing the tying run. 1-1. And now Kyle finds himself right in the heart of the dangerous part of the Phillies lineup. When you get to Kruk, Hollins, Dalton, you got 3 bombers in a row, and then you don't exactly fall off when you've got Eisenreich sitting next at .351 and Incaviglia next at .305.
Just never quits.
Now, Teak, we've got a catcher here, Scott Service, who has thrown out only 6 of 24. Do you look for the Phillies to do any running?
Well, I think with, normally you would think about running, but with Kyle on the mound and his inability to throw strikes, I think you're probably going to wait until you get a lot of, 2-0, 3-1 counts. Those would be the kind of counts that you would start the runner on, knowing that you're going to probably get a pretty good pitch to hit.
Throw behind him, and had it been a good throw, Duncan was dead. However, Service just kind of snapped it down there and offline, but he had the right idea because Duncan was late getting back.
Throw is wide into foul territory. Jeff Bagwell has to go get the ball, does not have the opportunity to apply a tag, but you were right. If that throw's on the money, Duncan had strayed off too far over there at first base. He would have been a dead duck.
2 balls and 1 strike on Kruk. Inside, ball 3. Well, you can see already that Kyle is the kind of guy who's going to make a ton of pitches.
He's going to get his money's worth out there tonight if he can stay out there long enough to throw a bunch of pitches. Problem being that he is now in one of those 3-1 counts, and the Phillies have been excellent this year at being patient at the plate, waiting till they get into a situation where they can get one of those 3-1 pitches. Hopefully, John looking for a fastball here, get a nice fat one to pound on.
Keeping Duncan close. Mariano has stolen 2 bases, but he's been caught twice.
And this is one of those situations we're talking about, a 3-1 count. You can start Duncan on this pitch if you elect to, because if the pitch is in there, you know Kruk's going to be swinging. If it's not, it's ball 4, and he doesn't matter anyway.
Duncan holds, and the ball goes to the gap. Nice recovery by Anthony, but Duncan goes to third anyway. Boy, Anthony closed the hole very nicely to hold Kruk to a single, but still the Phillies have first and third with one out.
Well, there's that fat pitch that Kruk gets. He lines it into right field. Now, this is good base running by Mariano Duncan. He knows that Eric Anthony does not have the strongest arm in the world, so he goes ahead and takes third base. Anthony doesn't even make an attempt to throw to third base, just one hops it back into second. So now the Phillies have runners on the corner with only one out.
And 2 RBI guys coming up. Looks like the Astros, let's see where they're going to play the infield. I guess that double play depth here with a 2-0 lead. And Hollins batting .293, third in the league with 46 runs batted in, and the shot right here. Hollins has had some success off Kyle, 3 for 7. High ball 1. Teak, we were talking with Ed Ott, a former roommate of yours and coach with the Astros, who helps with the pitchers in Houston, and was talking about the 2 different kinds of fastballs that Kyle throws. Would you detail them for us?
Yeah, Kyle throws a four-seam fastball, which is that high riding hard fastball, 92 mile an hour. And he also he's working on a 2-seam sinking fastball.
In the air to left, it's going to get a run in. Gonzalez back. There's the catch, and the throw comes to second as Duncan coasts in. It's a 2-1 ball game. RBI number 47 for Dave Hollins.
Dave Hollins ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Gets a fastball from Kyle up in the strike zone. Does not try to pull it, just gets good wood on it, drives it deep to the middle of the track in left field. That ball carried very well for him in the left field. Gonzalez makes the play easily, but the Phillies very easily also get the first run on the board.
2-1, bottom of the first. Here's Darren Daulton, the league leader in runs batted in. He has 50. Talking about Hollins hitting the ball the other way. Hollins has 9 home runs, and 5 of them have been hit the opposite way. A low ball 1 to Darren. 46 walks for Daulton. That shares the league lead with Kruk. John's at first. 2 outs. One. Daulton has kind of owned Darryl Kyle. 3 for 4. 2 home runs off him.
Kind of.
Woo. That's pretty good. Kylie.
The 4th time was probably a line drive at somebody.
Probably. Kyle's still only 24 years of age. He's from Garden Grove, California. Breaking ball inside, 2-1.
What happens here with Kyle is because he's behind in the count, Philly hitters will just ignore the curveball. You're only looking for fastballs when you're ahead in the count.
Outside, it's 3-1. Well, the Phillies' record coming into the ball game tonight, that was kind of splattered that one all over, didn't it? Phillies' record is 39-16, and that is the best 55-game record in the history of the Philadelphia Phillies. Out of play, and it's a full count. That'll get Kruk off with this next pitch. He'll be able to run here. We're in the bottom half of the first inning, and the Phillies try to keep on winning against these Astros. The Phillies have won 3 in a row, and 5 of their last 6. They're going to play behind him. Bagwell's going to try to cut down that hole a little bit. And Biggio, the second baseman, is exactly midway between first and second and way behind the line. Struck him out. That's a big plus for Darryl Kyle. But the Phillies chip away and get 1 here in the first. They do so on just 1 hit and 1 man left on base. After 1, 2-1 Houston.
My mama told me you better shop around, shop around. You better shop around. My mama told me you better shop around, shop around. You better shop around,
I always go to the shopping center 9 out of 10 people use.
The genuine Belle of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. 9 out of 10 use it,
No other book can match it. A ballot Lappy Company.
Trouble with heartburn? Well, you could change your job, change your lifestyle, change your diet.
Bon appetit.
Or better still, reach for Rolaids. It absorbs acid fast to bring 100% relief to millions. So maybe you can't change your life, but you can get relief in original and calcium rich. Rolaids spells relief.
The Phillies are making fireworks during the games, and we've got 2 spectacular fireworks shows after the San Diego games. Friday, July 2nd, when a doubleheader starts at 4:35, and Saturday, July 3rd at 7:05. Then all kids 14 and under get a free batting helmet when the series wraps up Sunday night, July 4th at 8:05. 2 fireworks spectaculars, 3 batting helmets, great baseball. Call 463-1000.
Cento Italian Food Products rooting for the Phillies again this season. For every Phillies home run, Cento donates $200 to the Philadelphia Child Guidance Clinic. You can find Cento products in any supermarket.
Darryl Kyle behind Darren Dalton, 3-1. Dutch fouled off a pretty good pitch. Here we see the 3-2 pitch. For a guy that's been spraying the ball around, he paints that one pretty much right on the outside corner. Dutch going, now wait a minute, he's been spraying the ball all over the place. I get him in a 3-1 hitting situation, and he throws 2 pitches right on the black. He's not supposed to be able to do that. It won't happen too often, Dutch. Hang with him.
Batting for Houston, Scott Service. He hit a 3-run home run in the 9th inning last night. Service batting at .341. He's just taken the job right away from Eddie Taubensee, who was the starting catcher at the outset of the year. But here in about the last 10 days, 2 weeks, it's been Service behind the plate, and you can see why.
Well, Scotty Service has always been considered the better of the 2 catchers defensively and calling the ball game. The question was his offense. He's now got the offense cranked up pretty good.
Rivera misses with his off-speed pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike on Service. Bottom third of the order. He'll be followed by Cedeno and Kyle. Ben gave up 2 extra base hits in the first inning. Pretty good week for Scott Service. 10 for 22, and that includes that 3-run dinger last night. Popped him up. Big high one. Going to be Dalton's play, and he's right at the box. Look at that. That was right up the elevator shaft, Teakwood.
Straight up, straight down. Dutchman just takes off the helmet and the mask, drops them, and has to step about 2 feet out in front of the plate to make the play.
Andujar Cedeno. Interesting. Look at his average, .320. So the 2 hot Houston hitters are batting out of the 7 and 8 spots, and that's not good. You want your hot hitters to be the guys in the middle. It's not been that way for the last week or 10 days for these Astros. But they have been winning a lot of ball games. They came in last night with a 4-game winning streak, and each of those 4 was a come from behind victory. Fights off that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cedeno gives you pretty good power from the number 8 spot.
Yeah, a little bit more of a free swinger than you probably would really want your shortstop to be, but the added bonus is he can get you some extra base hits.
Strike 2 on him.
He can also go out of the strike zone and swing in some bad pitches every once in a while. He's in a pretty good groove right now, but he can also get in a bad groove where he starts swinging at that breaking ball out of the zone.
Ben tempts him there, but that one was flat out in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Andujar Cedeno. They've got Jose Uribe sitting on the bench just as an insurance policy. Uribe doesn't do much of anything except go in if Cedeno needs a day off, or should he be hurt. There's Jose. Outside, ball 3. He spent the bulk of his career with the San Francisco Giants. Ball 4. Ben issues his second walk, and the other one hurt him. It scored in the first inning. Got the pitcher coming up, and Kyle will be sacrificing here. He has only 1 sacrifice this year. No hits. He's 0 for 9. Speaking of bunting, should Rivera get up there in that spot, he's the best in the business.
The best pitcher in the business.
That's right. He has only one less sacrifice bunt than Jay Bell. He's led the league a couple of times. Bell has.
Kyle doesn't look like he's real proud about standing in there at the plate. He's even bailing on bunts. Not good when you're bailing out when you're trying to bunt.
Ben misses 1 ball, 1 strike. Tom Spencer is the third base coach for Houston, and Teek's old roommate, the Otter, is the coach over at first, Ed Ott.
There's my roomie.
Runner goes. The bunt is down. Dalton tags him out. So it is a sacrifice for Kyle with Cedeno running before the bunt, getting to second base. What's the strategy on that, Teek?
Well, you're figuring that Rivera behind in the count's going to have to come in with something. You're confident that Kyle is going to be able to get the ball down, so you just go ahead and start the runner at first base, knowing that if Kyle gets the ball down anywhere, the man's going to be at second base. That bunt right there, had he not been running, is probably a 2-6-3 double play. But because Cedeno was on the move, he gets to second base.
Now here's Biggio. He doubled and scored in the first. And Ben will be careful with him here. Gets it over for a strike. Houston leads 2-1. Biggio has 25 extra base hits. He's 8th in the league in that category. And a .300 lifetime hitter against the Phillies.
Big Ben trying to find that groove. Has not found that release point yet with the breaking ball. Most of them down in the dirt. There's a good one.
Yeah. Messed up Biggio's timing on that one. 1-2. Rivera acquired by the Phillies from Atlanta. Another good deal for the Phillies.
You'll see the Houston Astros hitters out in front of that curveball quite a bit if he's throwing that good fastball over the plate.
Hits it to left field. Incaviglia's there, though. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, no hits, 1 man left on base. Go to the bottom of the second. Astros lead 2-1.
How would you like to become a part of the 76ers 1993-94 upcoming season? On Monday, June 14th at 6 p.m., the Sixers will be holding tryouts for the Dream Team. All girls 18 and older, come out to the Spectrum. You may become a part of the Sixers live action. For more information, call 339-7600. That's 339-7600.
It's often taken for granted, yet it's as precious as the very air we breathe. It's called freedom. And it's what inspired Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield to create the new Personal Choice, a health plan that offers people the low costs of an HMO without asking them to give up what they value most, their freedom. Personal Choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
Spectacular fireworks timed to magnificent music after the San Diego doubleheader Friday, July 2nd at 4:35, and again Saturday, July 3rd after the 7:05 game. Compliments of Mellon PSFS. Call 463-1000.
This year we have 2 spectacular fireworks shows. Gigantic aerial displays put to music following games on both the 2nd and 3rd of July. Here's the number to call for your tickets, 463-1000. And we'll see you for the works here at the ballpark. Eisenreich batting .351. Eisy is 8 for his last 19. What a boost he has given the Phillies. Kyle misses with his curve. It's 2 balls and no strikes. The Astros lead 2-1. We're in the last of the second. Fastball away, 3-0.
Interesting, when the Phillies acquired Eisenreich, they thought it was going to be pretty much just as a left-handed bat off the bench, but I think he surprised everybody with the way he's played defense and what kind of defensive player he is worked himself into a platoon role in the right field position.
Not only that, but even when he doesn't start, he gets in the game for late defense or as a pinch hitter. He has been in every game but 2.
And that has been a big bonus that wasn't counted on.
Broken bat, roller to second. Biggio's got it. Eisenreich is out on a close play, and that stick is history. 1 out in the second. Don't make them like they used to, Tink.
The bottom just fell off that bat. First, you were talking about the two-seam fastball by Kyle. That was that tailing, sinking fastball. Eisenreich just hits it out on the end of the bat. Little chip just falls out of the bottom of it. Didn't hit it very well. Grounded it to second base.
Incaviglia steps in. He played with these Astros last year. They know all about his power. Inky, 9 homers, 37 RBIs in 38 games. That's the best ratio on the club. And he is 12 for his last 25. Now that is the definition of a hot hitter.
Yow.
And there he is over the last, 16 games?
Well, you had an idea when Inky was acquired that he was going to drive in some runs. You didn't know that he was going to be hitting 300 this late in the season.
Here's a bouncing ball to third. It stays fair for Caminetti, who has a great arm. But Inky didn't run. The ball hit off his foot. So it's not a fair ball. The play followed through, but it's a foul ball. And Jim Fregosi coming out.
You see the ball going off of Inky's foot.
Wow.
I don't believe it has been called a foul ball, though. I believe the play was called in play. Now the umpire checks the ball, finds the shoe polish on it, throws it out of play, and now, just now, Mark Hirschbeck has determined that was a foul ball. So you see him right now that the ball was marked. You can hear him on the field mic telling Art Howe the ball was marked. So initially the play was called a fair ball. Hirschbeck then, after the play at Incaviglia's request, looked at the ball, saw the shoe polish, and determined that it did hit him in the foot.
0-2 pitch. Kyle gets him. Second strikeout for Darryl Kyle. 2 outs in the inning. Mickey Morandini comes up.
Well, for the first time tonight, Kyle out in front, no balls and 2 strikes, allows him to throw that good curveball. Throws it down and away. Inky pulls off of it. Not able to reach out there and get it. So Kyle, for the first time this evening, put himself in position to use his best weapon, which is that curveball.
Morandini batting at .233. Mickey's been picking up his average lately, and he keeps right on doing that. Single to left field. Well, that's a great boost for the Phillies because if nothing else, it at least gets the pitcher out of the way.
Mickey, with that new stance that he's using this year, that's choked up on the bat, just gets the ball down and out over the plate, slaps it right through the hole in the left field. You know, he was struggling early in the season, but he is starting to pick it up now. You can just see gradually his average just keeps picking up and picking up. Mickey getting more and more confidence on himself at the plate.
Gentle Ben comes up. Big Ben or Gentle Ben, take your pick. Talked about his ability to sacrifice. He will not, of course, be bunting here. There are 2 outs, so he'll have to be swinging away. He's 2 for 14. Ball 1 on Rivera. Phillies lead the National League in home runs, but after their explosion of 3 last night, the Astros are only 1 behind them. 57 homers for the Phillies, and Houston just behind. Strike, 1-1. Got a great matchup to finish the series tomorrow night. Terry Mulholland goes for the Phillies. Pete Harnisch goes for Houston. You can catch tomorrow night's game on Prism. Ben fights it off. 1-2. We have a crowd roughly in the neighborhood of last night's. There's Harnish. He'll work it tomorrow night. He is averaging 7.3 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's the 4th best in the league.
The good news is he's not pitching in the Astrodome. He's almost unbeatable there.
Oh, yeah. Breaking ball for a called 3rd strike. Strikeout number 3 for Kyle. Phillies no runs, 1 hit and 1 left. And after 2, the Astros lead the Phillies 2-1.
This is your world, genuine and true, working together in all that you do, and you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud, Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud.
May I help you, sir?
Yeah, I'll have a Coca-Cola.
You sure you want a Coke?
Yeah, I want a Coke.
Okay, pal.
How did you order a Coke?
It tastes good.
You didn't care if it was a Coke. You just wanted a
I'll just have a cola. I'll just have a cola. I'll just have a cola.
Need a drink, sir?
I'll just have a...
You'll just have a...
I'll just have a Coke.
Ooh.
You're the guys of Coca-Cola.
See ya, pal.
Oh.
Did you know Texaco puts System 3 in every grade of gasoline?
System 3 gets high marks in every grade, which is a lot better than I ever did.
My dad says Texaco puts System 3 in every grade. I'm in the 4th grade.
Of course. That's why I always fill up with System 3. What do I look like? Don't say it.
Visit your Texaco station.
I can get the tires rotated, the car loose, and still get home in time for the game.
Mow the lawn.
For unbeatable System 3 gasolines and so much more.
Mow the lawn.
Mow the lawn.
The Phillies get down to business against the Braves Wednesday, June 23rd, 12:35 in a midweek business person special compliments of Mellon PSFS. Fun in the sun. Pitching against power. Call 463-1000.
Well, the old-timers game, now known as the Heroes of Baseball game, which comes compliments of Upper Deck coming up here on the 19th. Teague's going to take part in that ball game, but he'll be on the opposition. It's the 83 Phillies back for that one. The Stick's going to be here. Von Hayes, Tony Perez has been added to the lineup. Mike Schmidt will be in town. Tug McGraw, Gary Matthews, Gary Maddox. It's going to be a fun night. Hope to see you here, and you'll see a doubleheader that night. Those Marlins who have won 4 in a row are going to be in here to play the Phillies that night. Finley leads it off for the Astros in the 3rd. It's 2-1 Houston. Ben misses on a curveball. Finley hit a pop foul to Dalton first time up. Ben Rivera has walked 2, does not have a strikeout, coming off a 9 strikeout ball game. Two and 1. Finley played in every game for Houston last year.
The difference so far this evening between this game and the game last Wednesday in Cincinnati is Ben has not been able to establish the strike zone early in the count.
Yeah, you're right. In that game, he was getting strike 1.
He was getting strike 1 on most of the hitters, and it really, especially, you know, most pitchers, it's important. For Ben, it's very important because it sets up all the rest of his pitches. If he's ahead, the game becomes much easier than when he's behind early in the count.
Breaking ball, tap foul, and it's 2-2 on Finley. He'll be followed by Bagwell and Anthony. Finley over from Baltimore. That was the trade where they sent Glenn Davis down to Baltimore. And how about Davis breaking a jaw in a fight in Norfolk, Virginia, trying to defend Randy Reddy coming out of a bar. Ground ball to Kruk. Finley is out, 1 down.
See Dutch going to the inside part of the plate. Ben gets the ball right in on his hands. Nice easy one hopper to Trucker at first base. It's that good hard fastball by Rivera in on your hands. You have to be real quick to get the good part of the bat out in front of it.
Bagwell, the hitter. Popped him up, but that'll be foul out of play. Incidentally, speaking of Kruk, you know, he left the ball game last night with a contusion of the right knee. But he obviously back in there tonight. Crooks used to playing with all kinds of pain.
Well, contusion's just a big fancy word Dr. Marone likes to use for a bruise. I mean, if John doesn't have a bruise, a pull, a ding, a dent, he doesn't know how to play anyway. So that's not even a factor when you talk about John Kruk, a minor contusion.
That does sound serious, though, doesn't it?
No, well, the doctors always put all those letters in the word, make it sound important. It's a bruise.
Popped him up. There's a big high one out near second base. A play for Mickey. 2 outs. Eric Anthony, he did the major damage in the first inning. Ben fell behind him in the count 3-0. They gave Anthony a light, and he skidded one hard past Kruk and down into the right field corner for a 2-run triple. Ben's starting to get it now. He's looked a lot better this inning.
Yeah, he's starting to hone in on that strike zone early in the count.
Breaking ball misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Phillies lead the league in complete games. Their pitchers have worked 14 of them. Interestingly, no opponent has pitched a complete game against the Phillies. Curveball. And it's 2-2. Imagine that, Teak. 55 games and no complete game against you.
Well, it just goes to show how many runs the Phillies are putting on the board. I mean, that's even when you're in one of those hot streaks offensively, it's an incredible number to go that far.
Center field, Dykstra, it's hanging in the air, and Lenny is there. Anthony hit that one too hard for his own good. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Astros go in order, and so we go to the bottom half of the third. It's Houston 2, Phillies 1.
We need to talk. You see, you and I have something in common.
Batman returns.
Batman. To destroy Batman, we must first turn him into what he hates the most. Namely, us.
Batman returns. When good just isn't good enough.
Well, looks like you got a new pride and joy.
Well, it's not exactly new, but it's new to me.
And I see you're putting in super premium.
You bet. I saved every dollar I made for 2 years to buy this, so I'm giving it nothing but the best.
Nice car.
See what I mean?
So when good just isn't good enough for you, experience our best. Fly with the new superpower, Citgo.
Hi, I'm Mickey Morandini of the Phillies. When I make the plays at second base, I depend on my Rawlings glove. It's a choice of the pros. At Gold Medal Sporting Goods, you'll find a great selection of Rawlings gloves, balls, and equipment. Plus, Gold Medal is the official retail outlets of the Phillies. So team up with Rawlings and me at any one of the Gold Medal Sporting Goods stores in the Delaware Valley, where you'll find the best service, selection, and prices around.
Phillies baseball brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you to please drink responsibly because friends know when to say when. By your Quality Plus Ford dealer, get great deals on 5 of the 10 best-selling cars and trucks in America during the Great American Ford Sales Event at your Quality Plus Ford dealer. And by Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side. Your Nationwide agent in Warminster is Stephen Martin. Bottom of the third. 2-1 Astros. Dykstra leads it off way inside, ball 1. And who was the last Philly to hit for the cycle? He's here tonight. Johnny Callison paying a visit to the ballpark. He did it at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh in 1963. That's a long way between cycles, isn't it?
Well, you would think that, with all the measures that the Phillies have had over the years, that somebody would have hit for the cycle in between them, but not so.
Who is the only man to hit for the cycle in both leagues? He is here tonight, too.
I have not got the slightest idea.
Bob Watson, assistant general manager of the Astros. Money grounded out to first time up. On the corner, a strike. It's 2-2 on Dykstra. Boy, Lenny had a great at-bat last night to key that 3-run sixth for the Phillies when they were down 1-0 coming into that inning.
12 pitch at bat against Greg Swindell.
And walked.
Fouled them off, fouled them off, fouled them off. Finally able to get a walk. Keyed that big inning.
Good eye for Lenny. Saw that was a breaking ball and felt it would drop out of the zone. It did. Lenny is 5 for his last 9. Slaps it through for a base hit. Dykstra gets the Phillies' 3rd hit and gets an inning started.
So in the first 2 innings, the Phillies go completely through the lineup. Everybody gets a look at Kyle. Lenny gets that fastball away, just slams it through the left side into left field. As I mentioned, the Philly hitters now have all seen Kyle once. They've had a chance to measure him and get an idea of how he's throwing this evening, how hard he's throwing, how big that curveball is breaking. So look for this second time around for the hitters to have just a little bit more confident approach against Kyle.
Duncan hit with a curveball first time up. Oh, look out. We got troubles here. Biggio to Cedeno to Bagwell, and there are 2 outs, and there's not much you can do about that.
Don't get the ball right on the button. Got a fastball away. Just tried to go the other way with it. Hit it hard. Just unfortunately hit it right at Biggio at second base. Once the ball's in that area, that's a routine double play. No chance for Lenny to get anywhere near Cedeno at second base. The relay is very simple.
In steps John Kruk, 1 for 1. John single out in the right center field. Hitting at .361. Takes a pitch low. John wants to play them all. We said Ricky Jordan wound up at first at the end of last night's ball game. Kyle outside, unhappy with the way he delivered that pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. And the fans love the Krucker. John leading the vote getting in the National League for the All-Star game, a well-deserved honor that he and Dalton share at this point. Hopefully some of the other Phillies will gain some further recognition, and certainly some recognition will have to go to the Phillies starting pitchers.
I'll tell you, we talked about Ben Rivera. He's sort of been in and out a little bit. But other than that, the rest of the Phillies starters have just been unbelievable this season. The problem the Phillies are going to have is they're going to be limited to how many people they can put on the All-Star team.
Ball 4. Kruk draws his league-leading 47th walk. He has walked more times than Dalton and Barry Bonds and all the rest of them who get a lot of walks. That is Kyle's first free pass of the ball game. Walk-wise, he did hit Duncan, if you call that a free pass. And now Hollins, who has a sacrifice fly run batted in. Hey, this is a good year to go to the All-Star game because it's just 90 miles down the road.
Right down the road.
Get down, play the game, come right home. Ball 1. I paid a visit to Camden Yards last year. Sort of a busman's holiday on an off night for the Phillies, and I tell you what, that is an eye-opener. A tremendous place to watch the game of baseball, and a tremendous place to have fun too. They've got a lot of food courts there, and got a couple of brew pubs in the vicinity, both of them within walking distance.
Sounds like it's right down your alley.
It was right down my alley. Kyle misses away.
Got service out to the mound very quickly. Get into that danger zone. Got a 3-ball no strike count on John Kruk. Now 2 balls and no strikes on David Hollins. Kyle could have been in a whole lot of trouble this inning had it not been for that sharply hit ground ball by Duncan that was right at Biggio. That at least to this point has kept him out of trouble, but he hasn't done a whole lot on his own to avert problems.
So that double play ball is the pitcher's best friend, huh?
Sometimes you get lucky.
Larry Boa giving the signs here. Will he give him a light 3-0? We saw the Astros give it to Anthony tonight. 2-run triple resulted.
Dave Holland's taking all the way. Obviously, Boa did not give him a light.
What do you think, Teak? Should have a few more strikes than balls, shouldn't he?
50-50 is not good.
And 50 pitches in the third inning is also a high total.
Way high.
Way up there. So back-to-back walks after he gets a double play ground ball. That's asking for trouble. And he will face Darren Dalton, but not before Bob Cluck makes a trip to the mound to have a little word with Darryl Kyle.
Well, Cluck has to have that uneasy feeling right now. He's seen his pitcher go out there and give up a leadoff base hit to Lenny Dykstra after being behind in the count. Did get the double play ball, and Duncan turns around and has not really been very close to the strike zone at all against Kruk or Hollins.
The Phillies home team mustered player of the month of May, Tommy Green. He was 5-0, 1.45 earned run average. Tommy pitched 43 in a third innings, 35 strikeouts. Tommy was also named the NL pitcher of the month. Tommy Green, the home team player of the month of May. He helped put his team on top. All right, it's Dalton now. Darren struck out first time up. Here he hits with 2 men on. Phillies short by a run. Tying run at second base. Outside, he stays away. Ball 1. Dalton has batted safely in 8 of the last 9, but he hasn't been hot during that time. His average during the last 9 games is .289. Out the left field way, long run for Gonzalez. Nice play for Gonzalez. He caught it in foul ground where there isn't much foul ground. So Dalton is out for the Phillies. No runs, 1 hit. They leave 2. And we go to the 4th inning, 2-1 Houston.
You can feel it deep inside. Dedication and a real sense of pride. And you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud.
I remember last year, honey, when we were moving.
Right.
Well, she called us and said if we put both our new house and car policies with her, we would save money.
Well, we have so many choices at Nationwide, and my job is to make you aware of your options.
She was always there with an answer.
That's the way we're trained, to be very knowledgeable and to be there when people really need you the most. And that's important.
Agents like Margaret are Nationwide.
Nationwide is on your side.
For the first time ever, the expansion Florida Marlins come to the Vet Thursday, June 17th and Friday, June 18th. Then the Upper Deck Heroes play Saturday, June 19th before the Marlins game. And it's a free vintage 1933 baseball cap for all men, Sunday, June 20th at 1:35. Order your tickets in advance. Call 463-1000.
It's Phillies Dream Week time again. Your chance to live, learn, laugh, and play with the pros this February in beautiful Clearwater Beach, Florida. Just imagine, Johnstone, Lazinski, Taylor, Boa. I'll be there too, and you can too for 1 full week. You keep hearing about it, so make this the year. Call now for more information. It's 215-938-1200. Now, space is very limited. They're almost filled up, so make sure you make that call real soon if you want to go down to Dream Week this year. Again, the number, 215-938-1200.
Heard from Norm Amster and Kenny Bike today. They say they have less than 5 spaces remaining. So a word to the wise on Dream Week. Here we go to the fourth inning. Caminiti lined out a broken bat liner to Kruk first time up. The Astros lead it 2-1. Andy Musser with Kent Tekulve as we move to the fourth inning. Caminiti broke in the major leagues playing against the Phillies.
Did he ever?
Did he ever? That's right. He had a terrific.
I was there that night.
Woo. I'll tell you what. Caminiti and made some spectacular plays in the field too. He broke in against the Phillies on July 16th of '87. He tripled, he homered, and he walked in the ninth inning to score the winning run in a 2-1 victory for Houston.
Tell you what, after that ball game, I was ready to put him right in the Hall of Fame. He was unbelievable.
Got his hits off Kevin Gross, and he walked off Mike Jackson. Jackson back in the NL this year. He's a relief pitcher for the Giants and doing a nice job. Even in the high price seats, they dive for those balls, right?
I think they lost that one. They didn't get a penalty for a lost ball down there.
Gotta be there somewhere. On the corner, Ben Rivera's first strikeout of the night.
Well, you could see it starting to come last inning. Rivera starting to get some control of the strike zone here. 2-2, paints the outside corner. Boom.
I believe Caminiti thought that was outside.
Well, they always do. Hitters, they complain constantly.
In steps Luis Gonzalez. He's 0 for 1 tonight. That was a fly ball to Incaviglia. Fouls 1, strike 1. They're not getting solid wood on anything Ben's throwing up there now, as opposed to a couple of balls in the first inning which were hard hit.
You can notice now too, he seems to be feeling more comfortable there. But Gonzalez starts him off with the curveball, something he wasn't doing early in the game because he didn't feel comfortable with it yet.
Another one. No balls and 2 strikes to Gonzalez. Luis has been an everyday player for the Astros. Inside corner for a strike. Didn't get any all ball game, and now back-to-back strikeouts, and Luis is unhappy.
Curveball down and away, fastball away. Dutch slides to the inside. Ben puts it right in the glove. Boom. Hitters, they all complain. Watch this. There it is. Oh, come on. I was looking outside. You threw it inside. You're not allowed to do that.
You did not quote him directly, did you?
No, well, it was literal translation.
Yeah. Here's Scott Service out on a foul ball to the catcher, Dalton. Low ball 1. Base is empty with 2 outs. Ben bids to put them down in order for the second straight inning. He's starting to get it going now.
Yeah.
Too bad this ball game didn't start in the second inning, huh?
Now you can see the big guy starting to relax now. All comes with confidence. When you get that feeling that you're in control and you can do what you want to do, you relax and your body just takes over and does what you trained it to do.
Well, he's blowing now.
Yeah. Big guy starting to settle in.
Going to just wait for those Philly bats to catch up, and they're not that far behind. It's a 2-1 ball game. Got him. Struck out the side. All of them caught looking. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Down go the Astros. It's 2-1 Phillies in the bottom of the fourth.
Major League Baseball home video presents
We're back.
Now it can be heard, the sounds of baseball. This is the baseball video that puts you on the field to hear the game as never before.
They say we got to take the lead right here. Take the lead. First inning.
You're going to put him in jail?
I'm not going to put him in jail.
Right in the batter's box. You never go. He's not making it up.
Host Tommy Lasorda takes you behind the closed doors to reveal the secret strategy in team meetings and some Major League Clubhouse practical jokes. Plus, candid moments with today's superstars. Now it can be heard.
Yeah.
Do you want to order?
Yeah!
Well, to order, send check or money order to this address. Or use your credit card and call 1-800-255-9200. That's 1-800-255-9200.
Good evening. It's time for the live drawing of the daily number. Draw the first digit, please. Now the second digit.
Yes. Yes.
Draw the third digit.
Yes!
Well, there you have it. That's today's daily number.
Whoa! Look at it! Look at it! It's the same number! I got it! Bernie! Look at this! Look at it! Look at it!
It's the 10th reunion of the National League champs. The 83 Phillies play an 83 All-Star team Saturday, June 19th, 6 p.m. in the Heroes of Baseball game, compliments of Upper Deck. Before the Phillies play the Marlins at 7:35. Call 463-1000.
Still Houston by a run. Jim Eisenreich leads off the fourth inning for the Phillies, and he's worked away by Kyle. Eisenreich is 0 for 1 in this one. Ground ball to second base. That's one of the only plays that Biggio has had tonight, although his other play was starting a double play. Here's a ground ball hit sharply to Bagwell. Baggy says, "I'll do it alone," and he just gets there. Phillies baseball day camps for boys and girls 7 to 14 years of age. 12 great locations. Plus get to enjoy a day of fun here at the Vet. Call 215-642-8585. That's 642-8585.
Ground ball to Jeff Bagwell for the second time in a row on a routine play. Jim Eisenreich, by hustling down the line, has made the play close. So good hustle by Eisy, makes Bags hustle over there.
Incaviglia steps in, struck him out first time up. That was where Inky fouled the ball off his foot and was in considerable pain, and then on the 0-2 pitch struck out. Over the mound, Biggio gets him. Nice play by Biggio. Looked like he almost used that second base bag to set himself.
Inky hits this breaking ball off the end of his bat, just tops it up, does get it over Kyle's head, but Biggio fields the ball right by the second base bag, almost as if he's making an unassisted pivot on a double play out there at second base. Did not quite step on the bag, but a move that Biggio has made hundreds and hundreds of times before the game in practice. Easy throw to first.
Morandini slashed a single the opposite way last time up, doing so in a situation which was identical to this. Bases empty and 2 outs. Mickey at 238. His average had bottomed out right at 200, and now he's added 38 points to it. Foul back, 1 ball and 1 strike. Mickey with 3 triples. He's 9th in the National League with those 3 base hits. How about Dunk? He had 2 in 1 ball game last night. I can't remember the last time I saw a guy get 2 in a game. Triple being a relatively rare play to begin with.
And of course, when you're not feeling well, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to hit triples and you have to run all the way around the bases. If you're feeling spry, you hit those little singles, but Dunk will take them.
Oh, right at him. Now he hit him right smack in the hip. That ball was heading for him all the way. You have to ask yourself whether he wanted to hit him or not.
Well, normally you would, except for the fact that you know Darryl Kyle's control is not that good. He's been known to spray not only the curveball but the fastball. This one here, he just fails to release it. Absolutely no reason to throw at Morandini. That ball just plain got away from him. Just held on that ball, and the natural reaction is to back up. If Mickey had stayed where he was, the ball would have actually gone behind him, but your natural reaction is to jump back. He jumps back right into the pitch. Ooh, right off the calf. Those are the ones you got to watch because they will tighten up on you later.
Rivera, high chopper. Bagwell fields, underhands to Kyle, and the out is recorded. No runs, no hits, 1 man left on base, 4 innings complete. Astros 2, Phillies 1 at the Vet.
It's a round world, genuine and true. It keeps on spinning and you always come through. And you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your
help you, sir?
Yeah, I'll have a Coca-Cola.
You sure you want a Coke?
Yeah, I want a Coke.
Okay, pal.
How did you order a Coke? It tastes good.
Didn't care if it was a Coke. You just
I'll just have a cola. I'll just have a cola. I'll just have a cola.
Need a drink, sir?
I'll just have a...
You'll just have a...
I'll just have a Coke.
Ooh.
Hear that, guys? A Coca-Cola. See ya, pal. Oh.
It's out there. Tonight's winning daily number is out there. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and play it. The Pennsylvania Lottery's daily number. Don't forget to play every day.
Okay, back in the top of the fourth inning, Ben Rivera strikes out the side. Now, we mentioned early in the game when you're throwing balls, the borderline pitches are called balls. Ben's establishing the strike zone. Here's the first one to Caminetti right on the outside corner or just off, called a strike. Gonzalez, inside corner or just off, ahead in the count, called a strike. 2 strikes and no balls to service. Boom. So when you're throwing strikes, you get strikes. When you're throwing balls, you get balls.
Now Ben prepares to pitch to the bottom part of the order. Cedeno, Kyle, and then Biggio here in the 5th. 2-1 Astros. Happy birthday to Dolores Dahl of Havertown, Pennsylvania, celebrating 62 today. Dykstra there. 1 pitch gets Cedeno, 1 out.
Oh, darn it. I love it when hitters react like that. They take strikes, they complain. They hit balls, they complain.
Darryl Kyle sacrificed his first time up there. He'll be... And listen to the reaction from the crowd here after he hit Morandini. The crowd gets on him a little bit.
Well, we noticed the first time around, Kyle was on his heels a little bit when he was up there trying to sacrifice bunt. Now, this time, way on his heels. Big Ben forced the first two of them through there.
Curveball, see you later. It's number 4 for Rivera. That's 10 in a row retired by the big guy.
First 2 were good morning and good afternoon. This is good night.
Now the top of the order, Craig Biggio. He has doubled and lined to left. Happy 80th birthday to Tony Maley of Berwyn, Pennsylvania.
Also, I got a letter today. I'd like to wish a happy 50th birthday to Tom Malia, the Philadelphia fireman. His family sent me a nice note. Said he's a big Phillies fan and would like to have a birthday wishes on Sports Channel. So, Tom, you got him. Happy birthday.
And you relate to those firemen, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Always take care of the firemen.
I've seen your card, Teak. Get that fireman's hat on there. Come to the rescue.
Putting out fires.
2-0 now on Biggio. Strike, 2-1. Get well wishes to Harry Heestand of Villanova, home recovering from surgery. We certainly wish Harry well. Low, it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Slams it down to the left field corner, but a foul ball. A happy 25th anniversary to Al and Eva Granado of Buena, New Jersey, number 25.
Got that fastball up in the zone this time. Biggio, fortunately, out in front of it a little bit, pulls it foul.
Ground ball to Kruk. John's got it, spins around to Rivera, just in time. Ben puts him down in order, 3rd inning in a row. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Rivera's in a groove, but still the Phillies are short by a run as we go to the bottom of the 5th.
It's kid as play. 50% of it is attitude and style. And play is kid.
You're gonna be Blade Brown. You gotta know where Blade Brown comes from. Thought you crawled out from under a rock.
And they're a class act.
Come on, man, that ain't half of what went down. How about giving a brother some credit? Yeah, you heard him. Give him some credit. Oh, very funny. Talk about bringing a brother down.
How would you like to become a part of the 76ers' 1993-94 upcoming season? On Monday, June 14th at 6 p.m., the Sixers will be holding tryouts for the Dream Team. All girls 18 and older, come out to the Spectrum. You may become a part of the Sixers live action. For more information, call 339-7600. That's 339-7600.
Do Texaco food marts really have everything?
Oh, they have gum, cheese, candy.
Many reasons I come to Texaco.
Chips, cereals, nice people.
There are many reasons.
You want it, they got it. If they don't have it, you don't need it.
And that candy that pulls apart like that.
Did I skip something?
Visit your Texaco station and food mart for unbeatable System 3 gasoline.
Pop comes here for System 3, and I come here for Pop. Right, Mom?
And just about everything else.
I'd recommend it to anybody, and I would too.
Phillies baseball brought to you by Jiffy Lube, America's favorite oil change. By Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. No other book can match it, a Bell Atlantic company. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery, a participating advertiser in Phillies baseball. Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. Well, we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning, and the Phillies have scored only in the 1st. And Lenny Dykstra looked like he had triggered an inning in the 3rd when he led off with a base hit, but the double play ball took the Phillies right out of it. Lenny 1 for 2 and batting at .279. That average keeps going up and up and up. He says he'll be at .300 by the end of June. Kyle's curve misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. The last time Kyle started a game, he went 6 innings. That was against Florida on the 29th of May. Just like Rivera, he's in that number 5 spot in the rotation, so sometimes they need him and sometimes they don't. Base hit for Lenny, 2 out of 3, and he starts another inning with a single.
In the 3rd inning, he gets a fastball away, hits it to left field. This time, Kyle tries to come down and in, so Lenny gets the bat head out in front and slams it through the right side. So if you pitch me away, I'll slam it through the left side. If you pitch me in, I'll slam it through the right side.
You know,
maybe hitting 300 sooner than that.
I talked with Lenny on our radio Star of the Game show after Sunday's game when he went 4 for 4, and he said, you know, to tell you the truth, I think I've been swinging the bat pretty good all year long. They just weren't falling in. Lenny has stolen 13 bases in 17 tries. But they're falling now, and he's got a good stroke, and we saw last night how his getting on to start an inning can really make things happen. Mariano was hit by a pitch and grounded into a double play. Bunt, it's in the air though. Kyle can't get him, and hits him in the head. Everybody is safe. That ball bounced up and hit him right in the head. That'll be a bunt single for Duncan.
Dunk pops the ball up. Kyle comes off the mound, thinks he has a chance. Leaves his feet, dives for the ball, not able to catch it, and then hit butts it into foul territory. Dykstra not able to move to 3rd base because of the fact they had to wait to see if the ball was caught or not. Service doesn't have a play. Caminiti doesn't. Kyle thinks he does. Comes up empty. Uses his head, pushes it into foul territory. So the Phillies this time, after Lenny gets on, instead of having the double play, making it 2 outs and nobody on. Now the Phillies have runners at 1st and 2nd and nobody out, and that crushing middle of the lineup coming up again.
Brock Collins and Dalton all poised, and no wonder a pitcher takes a little extra time in a spot like this. Caminiti in to talk with Kyle. This is a rough spot to be in. By the way, that bunt single by Duncan gives Mariano a 13-game hitting streak, longest for any Phil this year. Phillies about hit the Astros 5-2, but are still a run short. Kruk single and walk. Astro infield basically at double play depth. The shortstop Cedeno is in charge of holding Dykstra. And they can do that with a left-handed batter up there.
I hope Cedeno's not anticipating that Kruk's going to bunt. Sometimes you'll play over there when you think there's a bunt on.
Kruk will not be bunting, I think we can safely say. I can't remember seeing him bunt. Curveball. Oh, it was close. Good eye for John.
In that defense with Caminiti playing up in front of the line at third base and Cedeno playing so far over towards second base, a large hole on the left side of the infield. Any kind of fastball away that Kruk hits on the ground hard is going to have a good chance to get through. Now Caminiti backs up a step or two, but still a very large hole right through the shortstop position because of where Cedeno is playing.
Into the gap, left center. Here comes Gonzalez. He makes the play. Off the bat, that looked like a hit, but Gonzalez came in to catch it. 1 out.
Kruk going that way. Got the hands in a little bit to pitch in on him. Hit into short left center field. Gonzalez with good speed and got a good jump on the ball. Makes the play easily. That looked like it was going to be one of those little dunkers. Good base running by Dykstra and Duncan to stay and hold their ground until they saw what Gonzalez was going to do with that ball out in the left field. Sometimes a runner on second base will be so eager to score that tying run that you'll take off too early and leave yourself vulnerable to that double play that'll then again put the Phillies in a bad position this inning. Still now with runners at first and second and only 1 out and still in the middle of that lineup.
Dave Hollins has not had an official at bat tonight. He has an RBI on a sacrifice fly and he has walked. Fouled away. Strike 1 on David. Hollins was always a great football fan. He thought that it might be that his career in sports would be as a football player, but he had his opportunity in baseball first, and he certainly is making the most of it. He's tough enough to play football, I know that. One strike on Dave. There is some activity in the Astro bullpen. The veteran left-hander Juan Augusto, just reacquired by Houston, is up. And they might have in mind bringing him in to pitch to Dalton if Hollins creates a problem here. There's Artie Howe. Augusto has been in just 1 ball game. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Kyle's in some trouble.
Darryl Kyle playing with fire right here. And you get in the middle of that lineup, which is a tough spot to be in the first place, but then when you start running those bad counts again.
Dykstra at second base and Duncan at first. There's 1 out. 2-1 Houston. Watches that one for a strike. His curve is right in the zone. 2-2.
And for a hitter, that's the advantage of being ahead in the count. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kyle throws a good curveball on the outside corner. You don't have to offer at it. If he's ahead of you in the count, you may have to swing at that pitch. Dave Hollins looking fastball. As soon as he saw it was a curveball, didn't care if it was a ball or a strike. He knew he was going to take it all the way.
Dykstra the runner at second and Mariano Duncan over at first. Phillies about hit Houston 7-2. Look, the Astros had those 2 back in the first inning and they cashed them in. Another curveball. Now the count is full, and now Jim Fregosi has a decision to make here about starting those runners or not. Larry Bowa will let him know.
Word has already been transferred to Bowa. He lets Dykstra and Duncan know if Fregosi wants him moving on the pitch.
You know, that brings up an interesting point. If we talk about him having a decision to make, it's a decision he's already made because he's got to get that word out there quick.
That decision was made before the last pitch was thrown to Hollins.
They're holding, and it's a bouncer on the right side. Biggio goes for the middleman and gets it out there, leaving the Phillies with runners at the corners. Hollins safe on a fielder's choice.
3-2 pitch to Hollins. Ball down in the strike zone, sinking and moving down away from him. He tries to pull it. Got on top of it just a little too much. Fortunately, did not hit it sharply at Biggio at second base, so the Astros not able to turn a double play. But I think David a little upset with himself. He got a pitch out over the plate, and you mentioned earlier how he likes to hit the ball the other way and is capable of hitting the ball out of the ballpark the other way. This time he turned over on it and pulled it and hit the weak ground ball to second. So at least for the moment again, Darryl Kyle has avoided a problem. But
right-hander Tom Edens joins Augusto in the bullpen. Darren Daulton at the plate. Dutch 0 for 2 tonight. A strikeout and a foul fly to left field. In a spot to do some damage here. Phillies trail 2-1. Strike. Caitlin Brady from Orland, Pennsylvania, celebrating birthday number 9. Happy birthday, Caitlin. Ooh, that was a good pitch by Kyle.
Well, he just barely got over the 50% mark now. 39 strikes, 37 balls.
You know, he could gain some momentum, Teak, if he gets out of this crisis here. First 2 on, nobody out. If he gets out of this, it could be a plus to Kyle.
Well, anytime you're in trouble and you get out of it, you get a little bit of a boost out of it. Hopefully Dutch will eliminate that.
That's low. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
The problem with a guy like Kyle in a situation like this, you see him ahead in the count now against Daulton. Service is moving in and out, but he really doesn't have the kind of control to be able to work the strike zone. He may aim outside and throw inside. Service is going to the outside part of the plate. He goes way outside.
Yeah, he got it out there. We talked earlier about Dalton's numbers coming into the game off this guy as Service pays a visit to the mound. Darren has 2 home runs off him and was 3 for 4, so make that 3 for 6 now, but still good production in the past off Darryl Kyle.
When you're catching and you have a pitcher like Kyle out there that doesn't really have that good control, you're almost better, even though you're ahead in the count, staying in the middle of the strike zone and just kind of let the ball wander where it wants to. You know, try to go throw good stuff in the strike zone and let it go where it wants to go. Kyle trying to pitch to corners is almost a mismatch.
Breaking ball, he struck him out. His curveball got Daulton. Strikeout number 4, no runs, 2 hits, 2 left, and after 5, it's 2-1 Astros.
You know, a lot of people think you have to be a pro to shop at Sherwin-Williams. Actually, you just have to want to paint like one. That's why they're having a do-it-yourself sale.
Their best-selling A100 exterior flat is only $13.99, and Classic 99 interior flat is just $12.99.
It ends June 26th. So if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you better get going.
This is your world, genuine and true, working together in all that you do, and you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be
Mark your calendar and clear your schedule. The Phillies play the pitching powerful Atlanta Braves Monday, June 21st and Tuesday, June 22nd, both at 7:35, followed by an always popular business person special Wednesday afternoon, June 23rd at 12:35. Reserve your tickets by phone. Call 463-1000.
Baseball Cap Day. The Phillies and the Marlins Sunday, June 20th at 1:35. A terrific continuation of the nostalgia-style Phillies baseball caps. This year's model will be from the 1933 uniforms. Compliments of Texaco and free for all men 15 and over. The number to call, 463-1000.
Here's the last pitch to Darren Dalton's past inning. Kyle, with a good curveball down in the strike zone, did go right through the middle of the plate. As you mentioned, when you spray the ball around, you're almost better off staying in the middle of the plate and just hoping that good stuff is in there. That was a good curveball. Dutch swung over the top of it. So twice tonight now, Dalton has gone out. Once on a fastball that Kyle painted the outside corner with, and now this time with that good curveball down in the strike zone.
Astros 2, Phillies 1. Looking at it now from this end, though, Ben Rivera has retired 11 straight Houston hitters. They have not had a hit since they had those 2 blows in the first inning, Biggio's double and Anthony's triple, and that's been it. Finley is 0 for 2. He has popped up a foul ball to Dalton and grounded out to Kruk. Finley coming back after a night off. He's had plenty of nights off this year because of that broken wrist, but last year he played every ball game.
You mentioned since that first inning, the only base runner the Astros have had was a walk by Cedeno in the second. Other than that, Ben's had it together pretty good.
Strike. 2-1. Finley, Bagwell, and Anthony here this inning. And there is a good ratio there. 48 strikes, 29 balls. You can live with that. High bouncer. Ben's going to have to make the play. He lets it go. And that was a wise decision, because with Finley running, he probably wouldn't have gotten him. He could have fielded that fair, but he probably wouldn't have gotten the runner.
Yeah, he has a chance to make a fielding play, but because the ball is so close to the first base line, Finley hits the ball right off of home plate. See Ben coming over. Now Dalton starts yelling at him, let it go, let it go. Because number one, it's going to be a bang-bang play at first base. Number two, because of where Rivera is at, he's right by the baseline and moving toward it. So when he fields it, he's going to be in line to throw the ball to first base, and Finley's going to be directly between him and John Kruk. So a wise decision by Dalton to alert Big Ben to let that baby go into foul territory. On a play like that, your catcher has to be your eyes. He has to let you know if you have time and where you're at, because you as a pitcher are watching the ball as it's up in the air.
2-2 now on Finley. Well, he's on base that way. Base hit for Finley. After retiring in 11 in a row, Rivera gives up the single. That's only the Astros' third hit and their first single. They are one leg shy of the cycle as a team tonight. They've got a single, a double, and a triple. Bagwell coming up. He has walked and popped up, scoring one of the Astros runs. Phillies infield looks for a double play. Ben works him in. Foul ball, strike one.
You know, most people look at Jeff Bagwell and you think of him with that big swing as a pull hitter, but he really is not. He's really more of an opposite field hitter. He hits balls from straightaway left field around toward right field. Very seldom will he hit the ball down the left field line. Normally, if he hits it there, it's a ball that he got jammed on and just flares into the outfield.
Talking with Astro broadcaster Larry Dierker about how hot Bagwell was in May, and I said that must have been a tremendous month. He said, you know, he was just as hot in April, but he said he was overshadowed by Barry Bonds, who had such fantastic numbers. And Dierker went on to say, he said, I never with my own eyes saw any player in as good a groove as Bagwell was during that stretch.
For a 2-month period.
Yeah. So I guess it was inevitable that he would tail off some, and he has.
He's tailed off to 340.
Yeah.
Which is.
And that shows, you know, he was over 400.
Oh, yeah.
Larry Dirk, he's lighting them up. Does he know something we don't know? Working with Bill Brown on the Astro telecast back to Houston. Strike 3 call. Strikeout number 5 for Rivera.
Big Ben for the second time. This at bat works Bagwell on the inside part of the plate. We mentioned he likes to hit the ball out away from him the other way. Ben twice pounded him with that hard fastball on the inside part of the plate. Bagwell kind of dives into that pitch. It looks closer to him than it really is.
Artie Howe looking on as Eric Anthony comes up. He's done the major damage for Houston tonight. A 2-run triple in the first when he had a 3-0 count. They gave him a light, and it paid off. You know, I did not smell that cigar until we showed Dirk on television. Now I can smell it with every breath. They're right next door. Isn't that amazing? Little outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, Teak, we're going to have a smokeless all-star game this year. Yes, we are.
Okay.
You're not going to respond to that, huh?
Have nothing to say.
Except you won't be there. Strike. 2-1. I think you've done all-star work this year, and you might be selected to go down and do that game this summer.
I have a tea time, thank you.
I think it'd be only appropriate that Teak would be selected to broadcast this year's first smokeless all-star game. Uh-oh. That's going to find some open spaces. Lenny can't cut it off, but backed up. No, he can't get it either. Coming around third is Finley. He scores. Little loose play in the outfield there, and the Astros lead 3-1.
Fastball down and away. Anthony lines it into left center field. Lenny does a nice job of getting there, and when he gets there, the ball short hops him, hits off the heel. Looks like it's going to pop up to Inky, but he went and grabbed for it with the bare hand, not able to come up with it. So Lenny has to retreat and get the ball back in. By the time he gets it into Duncan shortstop, Finley has come all the way around. So score that a single for Anthony, an error on Dykstra, and no RBI.
And the Astros now lead by 2 again. So Anthony did not get an RBI, but he has certainly been highly involved in their scoring tonight, as he's 2 out of 3. Caminiti takes a strike. That's Lenny Dykstra's first error for quite a while. Mark Davis is up in the Phillies bullpen. He hasn't pitched in a game in a long time.
Jose De Leon also up in the Philly pen.
Curveball just missed. Anthony at second base. Breaking ball hit to center field. Anthony's going to score, and the Astros take a 4-1 lead on a single by Caminiti.
Caminiti gets a curveball from Rivera that stays up in the strike zone, just a little bit below the belt by the time it gets to the hitting zone. Curveballs that are up, much easier to hit than the ones that are down. You don't have to lift them, you just drive them through the infield.
Johnny Padres headed to the mound now, as Ben Rivera came into this inning having retired 11 batters in a row, but there have been 3 hits in the inning and the costly error to give Houston a 3-run lead. Luis Gonzalez, left-handed batter, coming up. Well, the Astros are an explosive team. We know that. Their team batting average, 272, is second in the league. It's a better team batting average than the Phillies have, and we mentioned earlier that they're only 1 behind them in home runs. Gonzalez this evening 0 for 2, fly ball to left and a strikeout. Runner at first with one out. Down the line in left. Out of play. Gonzalez still looks like he has a little room to fill out as he goes through his career. Probably become a little stronger as he goes along.
That was one of the raps on him early. He just wasn't very strong and wasn't very durable. Played in a platoon role. Now playing on an everyday basis, they feel that he's going to have to bulk up a little bit to be able to withstand the rigors of a full season. Then with a toss over to first base. Phillies with still 4 at-bats left in this ball game. Important to get this inning cut off right here. 3-run deficit, not that much for them to handle, but you don't want it to get too much bigger than that, because then it becomes more and more difficult.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Starting to notice this inning too that Ben is starting to come up in that strike zone. Could be a sign of tiring. He was down in the zone most of the night. Even in the first inning when he did have the problems, he was actually below the strike zone first couple innings. Now he's starting to spray that ball up in the strike zone.
Up again. That's a good observation, Teak. He has made a lot of pitches. He's in the 80s now. I think we showed you a 70-something count a while ago.
And what happens is when the arm starts to get tired, it's more and more difficult to get the ball out in front to release it, to get it down in that strike zone. We talked about how important that is, especially to the breaking ball.
Runner goes. Now he decides to go back. Here's the play. Safe. 2-2 on Gonzalez. Caminiti gets back somehow.
This is a play you won't see very often. Throw gets to second base in plenty of time. Dunk turns around, relays it to Crucker. Caminiti able to get the hand back in just before the tag. What happens on this play is Caminiti got such a bad jump that he knew he didn't have a chance going to second base. Actually went into a little pop-up slide in between the bases. Normally you should realize that you're not getting a good break. Earlier in that, Gonzalez lines that ball foul. If you get that bad of a jump, you should be able to stop yourself long before you get halfway to second base. Caminiti just took him a little longer than normal to realize that he did not have a good jump. Fortunately for him, was able to beat the relay from Duncan back over to Kruk.
Still 2-2 on the batter, Gonzalez. And still only 1 out. That should be the second out. Duncan calls off Hollins. 2 down. Catcher Scott Service comes to the plate. Service tonight has fouled out and struck out. I think Caminiti hurt his arm. He got, I guess you could call that an AstroTurf burn, huh?
Well, he did that little pop-up slide in between the bags. Normally when you're doing your sliding, you're on that dirt area at the bases. He did that pop-up slide in between, ran the arm along the ground, and that AstroTurf will chew off about 3 or 4 layers of skin in no time.
Service batting .333. Fastball inside and up, ball 1.
Remember the last time around, Scott Service was the 3rd of those 3 straight called strikeouts by Rivera in the top of the 4th inning. Sequence last time was fastball away, fastball in, fastball away, fastball away, fastball in. This time they elect to go inside with the fastball first, then with a courtesy toss over to first base. So just because you pitch a guy one way one time and you're successful, you don't always go with that same sequence the next time, because Scott Service remembers how he was pitched the last time also and could have been looking out over the plate early in the count.
Curveball missed. 2-0 now, the count on Service, who hit a 3-run home run here in the 9th inning last night. The Astros threw a scare on the Phillies, coming up with 4 in the 9th. Phillies led that game 7-1 heading into the 9th and hung on to win it by 2. Pulls him. 2-1. Next pitch will be number 100. Ben's got a great ratio, though, about 2-to-1.
He's on the short end of the score, though.
So there is 100 and a 3-1 count on service. Yes, he is. The Astros lead this game 4-1. Got some rain coming. Well, they said that some areas were going to get a shower after 9 o'clock, and it's 9:23. So
that's after 9 o'clock.
Makes that weatherman look pretty smart, doesn't it? Ball 4. The first base on ball since back in the second inning, and number 3 for the night. The number 8 hitter, Cedeno, coming up. We talked earlier, though, about how he is no normal number 8 hitter. He's got some pop in his bat and carrying a .318 batting average. 0 for 1 on this one with a walk. Ball 1. The good news and the bad news are all the same, and that is that this is an official ball game. Strike. 1-1.
Darryl Kyle is out on deck. There is no action in the Houston bullpen, but you have to remember the last inning there were a couple guys throwing, so that it would not take much for Art Howe to get a pitcher ready.
Very high. Looks like Ben is laboring now, and yet Jim Fregosi would like to get him through the inning, but he won't. There's the light rain falling. He won't go too far with him. Rivera's due to bat 4th in the bottom half. Blocked by Dalton, but the runners go. Rivera decides to throw to second, but he waited too long to do it. He double clutched before he threw it. Wild pitch. Well, now they could go ahead and walk Cedeno and just pitch to Kyle if they wanted to.
Here we see the pitch by Rivera, the breaking ball way out in front of the plate, takes a big hop, hits off of Dalton's shoulder, bounces out. Rivera jumps on it. This is not a play that you practice very often. You're not, as a pitcher, you're not used to pouncing on balls that bounce off the catcher. Big Ben just hesitated just slightly before he threw the ball to Morandini at second base. Service able to slide in ahead of it. It's almost like fielding a bunt right there on a force play. You're waiting for your catcher to give you the call. Now Dutch signals for the intentional pass to Cedeno, so that will load the bases up and bring Kyle to the plate.
First time the Stros have had him loaded tonight, and he's in a spot here where he has to get Kyle, who is 0 for 10 as a batter this year. He sacrificed and struck out tonight. They are loaded with Astros, and Houston leads 4-1.
With Ben having control trouble, Kyle, if he has any sense, will take at least the first strike, which he did.
And probably another, wouldn't you think?
Wouldn't be a bad bet.
Two now on Kyle.
He elected to swing, but he might as well have not swung at that. That ball was by him.
Up a little high, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Then trying to throw that curveball. He had remembered that one that he threw in the dirt. Let that one go way too soon.
Hirschbeck was all set to lift up, but he didn't. 2-2.
Poised and ready, but no action.
Had a little meeting with himself, but didn't call it. Struck him out. Number 6 for Rivera. And the inning comes to a close, but the Stros come on to get 2 runs. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error, and the bases left loaded. Houston leads 4-1.
We need to talk. You see, you and I have something in common.
Batman returns.
Batman. To destroy Batman, we must first turn him into what he hates the most. Namely, us.
Batman returns.
When you move into a new house, little things are going to come up. Unexpected things. Things the previous owner forgot to mention.
So to make your new house a home, turn to the book with more choices.
It can even help if you want to get out of the house for a while.
The Gentleman Bella Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. 9 out of 10 use it. No other book can match it. A Bella Atlantic Company.
From 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue to right here in Pennsylvania, people are searching for new choices in health care.
The costs are strangling me.
Which inspired Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield to create the new Personal Choice.
It seems like you always have to give something up.
A health plan that gives people the benefits of an HMO.
No one has the right to tell me what doctor I can see.
Without asking them to give up their freedom. Personal Choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
How about a helmet on the 4th of July? The Phillies have their only Sunday night home game of the year that night with the Padres 8:05. And a special gift for all the fans 14 and under, an official looking Phillies batting helmet, red with the Phillies P on the front. Here's the number for your tickets, 463-1000. Phillies bullpen stays up. Rivera due to bat 4th in the inning. Phillies trail 4-1. I got to think Ben's out of this ball game. Eisenreich 0 for 2 tonight. Curveball for a strike, and it's 0-2 on Eisy. He'll be followed by Incaviglia and Morandini. And Big Ben's not happy with the way things turned out here. Slapped on the ground. It's a foul ball. He had that one streak where he retired 11 batters in a row, but the Phillies never did catch him in the on the scoreboard. Edens and Augusto stay up for Houston. Mark Davis alone in the Phillies bullpen. Curve missed. Curveball gets him. Strikeout number 5 for Kyle. Do you see the resemblance to the Blyleven curveball?
Yes, it's a very late breaking, big breaking curveball. See it right here. You can almost, a curveball like that, you can almost hear it coming to the plate. There's that real, almost a sizzling sound as it comes to the plate with the seams cutting through the air. Darryl Kyle, who constantly early in the game was behind in the count, starts off this inning by jumping right out in front of Eisenreich. So Phillies have their work cut out for them, down by 3 runs.
Comes in on Incaviglia. Inky staggers back. Inky has struck out and grounded to second, 0 for 2. Now the bottom part of the lineup, actually, if you start with Dalton, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters have not done anything tonight. They are a collective 0 for 8 at this point.
Scott Service takes that foul tip right off the point of the shoulder. Watch this, folks. Right on the stripe on the throwing arm.
Yeah, too bad the Phillies don't have a base runner. Great time to steal.
Now, the chest protector designed with a pad that comes over and covers the left shoulder, but because you have to throw, that right shoulder is exposed. If the padding of the chest protector stuck all the way out there, you wouldn't be able to throw the ball.
Inky opposite way. Anthony over. Base hit. Incaviglia stays at first base. A 1-out single for Incaviglia.
Kyle has kept the ball away from Incaviglia most of the night. This time Inky makes an adjustment, hits the ball the other way, slams the ball into right field. Anthony gets it back in quickly. Overthrows the cutoff man, kind of short hops Cedeno at second base, but Inky had no intentions of making a move.
Going to have a rain delay here. At 9:32, they're going to put the tarp on. I was about to say that Milt Thompson had come to the on-deck circle to bat for Rivera, and with a delay, it's certain that Rivera will not continue in the ballgame. Bruce Fleming is the chief of this umpiring crew. And we're having a storm here in Philadelphia, a shower that hopefully will pass and we'll be able to resume the ballgame. But we're in the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Astros lead at 4-1. Unfortunately, should they not be able to resume, this would be a Houston victory. So the Phillies will do everything in their power to encourage the umpires to wait a stretch and finish this ball game in regulation.
Well, the game at this point in time is in the umpire's hands. Once the lineup cards are exchanged at the beginning of the game, the umpires have control. We had mentioned that there were supposed to be scattered showers in the area this evening. Hopefully that is exactly what this is, just a scattered shower. Won't last too long. We see the ground crew getting the tarp out on the field as quickly as they can. They've already covered home plate. So between the remaining out in the 6th inning and the entire 7th inning, you would like to try to get some damage done to cut that gap down a little bit.
A sparse crowd remains here at Veterans Stadium, but these are the hardy ones. These are the real fans. Want to see the Phillies with a chance to win this ball game. As far as the Astros are concerned, they probably wish we weren't even playing. Here's a high drive to left field, but Gonzalez has room and he catches it for the out. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base, and we go to the 7th inning. 4-1 Astros.
It's kid as play. 50% of it is attitude and style. And play is kid.
You're gonna be Blade Brown. You gotta know where Blade Brown comes from. Thought you crawled out from under a rock.
And they're a class act. Come on, man, that ain't half of what went down. How about giving a brother some credit?
Yeah, you heard him. Give him some credit.
Oh, very funny. Talk about bringing a brother down.
Matchlight Charcoal has just the right amount of lighter fluid. Already added. That's why there's only one match from Matchlight. Matchlight from Kingsford.
The metal cylinder is secured and turned in a counterclockwise motion, causing the internal railing to rise and disengage. It's easy to make something as simple as opening a jar complex. The challenge is making the complex simple. But that's what we do at Bell Atlantic Mobile. We take cutting-edge technology and place it comfortably in your hands. Bell Atlantic Mobile. Advanced technology and people who make it mean something.
Matchlight Charcoal has just the right amount of lighter fluid. Already added. That's why there's only one match for Matchlight. Matchlight from Kingsford.
Wednesday, June 23rd, a 12:35 game. Phillies and the Braves. It's the second midday baseball game this year. The business person special. Compliments of Mellon PSFS. Order your tickets and make your excuses. Call 463-1000 or stop by the Center City ticket office at Mellon PSFS Broad and Chestnut Streets. We haven't seen Mark Davis since May 23rd. It's been a long gap in between assignments for Mark. He comes into this 4-1 ball game. Davis for the Phillies this year, 1-2, 5.19 earned run average. Biggio, top of the lineup for the Astros, who lead it 4-1. Davis starts with his trademark, a curveball. He's got a good one.
He's got a dandy, and you know, much like Derek Kyle, he has a dandy. The question is, can he get it over the plate?
Sharply hit and foul. Biggio tonight in the ball game is 1 for 3. It was a double. We extend our sympathies tonight to John Slobotkin and his family. John, our regular producer here on the Sports Channel games. His father, Neil, died last week, and we really regret that John can't be with us, and we fully understand, and we send along our very, very best. One and two, the count on Biggio. Mark Davis, acquired from the Atlanta Braves. Davis, 32 years of age, second stint with the Phillies. He was here in 80 and 81 in just a total of 11 games. Mark had the big year in 89 with San Diego when he won the Cy Young Award. 2-2. He had 44 saves that year and 48 opportunities. And a 1.85 ERA. Was in a career high 70 ball games that year. They just turned to him and turned to him again. On the ground with the curveball, backhanded by Dunk, throws him out. Mariano makes the play, and Biggio's retired. One down in the 7th.
Davis able to get the breaking balls over the plate to Biggio, and as you mentioned, has not pitched in 15 days, so there has to be a little rust build up on him.
Finley, the batter, he's 1 for 3, and he scored 1 run. Boy, the Astros would like to get this guy going. He was such an integral part of their offense last year, and they need him. And it's kind of a dilemma for Artie Howe. He wants to keep him in the lineup because of his defense. He's a terrific center fielder. Even if he isn't hitting, he can help you.
Yeah, he and Biggio are the 2 igniters at the top of the lineup. Smile on his face right there. That curveball by Davis just plain buckled him. Mark Davis can do that to a left-handed hitter on occasion. That ball is coming right at your head and then all of a sudden dips into the strike zone,
making that pitch that much more effective.
And just when you concentrate and say, I'm not going to let him do that to me again, he comes back with a good hard fastball on the inside, and if you hit that at all, then you're going to jam yourself. So now Finley's seen 2 pretty good pitches to get started from Davis.
Bouncer on the right side. Kruk is there, and he gets over there and just does avoid a collision with Finley. And Krucker moving a little gingerly down there. He's playing on some bad wheels as it is. 3 unassisted for the second out. Watch this.
Krucker's got the bruise on his knee, and he's about ready to run into everybody on the Astros staff over on the first base side. Decides to take the play himself. Gets to the bag just in time, hops out of the way to get by Finley, and then ends up, well, we didn't see it right there, but he just continued on through and ran into first base coach Ed Ott.
Uh-oh. That's something to be avoided. And Bagwell sends a fly into Dykstra territory. Lenny on the track, but enough room. Boy, that was deep. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Down go the Astros. It's stretch time here at the vet. The Phillies trail Houston 4-1.
Baseball. Phillies baseball. Dykstra, Dalton, Hollins, Kruk. The home team. The home field. Comedy. Fatal Passion. Material Girls. True Love. Paths to Freedom. The best movie of the year. Home Team Sports. Great movie. Prism. 1 channel, 1 month, 1 call. Make it now.
Sir?
Sorry, I'm in a hurry.
Sir, we'd like to talk to you about stress reduction.
Okay, I've got to see some important people.
Sir, you need to take the day off.
You know, I need to take the day off.
Dorney Park in Wildwater Kingdom is the top seasonal water park in the U.S. and one of America's greatest family amusement parks. It's recreation for the body and the mind. Take the day off.
Money-saving coupons available at participating Pizza Hut restaurants.
The Phillies are making fireworks during the games, and we've got 2 spectacular fireworks shows after the San Diego games. Friday, July 2nd, when a doubleheader starts at 4:35, and Saturday, July 3rd at 7:05. Then all kids 14 and under get a free batting helmet when the series wraps up Sunday night, July 4th at 8:05. 2 fireworks spectaculars, 3 batting helmets, great baseball. Call 463-1000.
Hi, I'm Dick Vermeer with a Blue Cross Blue Shield health tip. What is the recommended daily allowance for fat? Women should limit their fat intake to less than 53 grams per day. And men should try to eat less than 73 grams of fat per day. A helpful guideline is to keep fat at no more than 30% of your total calories.
Lenny Dykstra leads off the bottom of the 7th inning. It's still 4-1 Houston. Lenny's had a good night. He's 2 out of 3. Now he's up there against the left-hander Osuna. Lenny 283. Well, he said he'd be at 300 by June 1st. He might beat the deadline.
Very well might.
Did I say June 1st? By the end of June. We are in June, aren't we?
That is.
My, how time flies.
Oh, when you're having such a good time.
Really? And we have that this year.
Yes, we have.
By the end of June, he said he would be at 300. And this is a short month. This is a 30-day month. Strike. 1-2 on Lenny. 17 doubles for Dykstra. He shares the league lead in that category. And he's only 1 behind Barry Bonds for the league lead in runs scored. And I asked him about that the other day, and he said, yeah, that's the one statistic that really interests him, that runs scored. Good eye to take that. No swing. And it's 2-2 on Dykstra.
Well, runs scored and runs driven in are really the two only important statistics in the game as far as a hitter goes. Those are the only ones that go up on the scoreboard and really help your club out. Batting average is nice, but the most important one are runs.
He jerks it down the right field way. It is way back. It is gone. Dykstra's 4th home run. It's a 4-2 game.
Lenny with his 3rd hit of the evening. We mentioned last inning the Phillies want to try to get those runs cut down before you get to that Xavier Hernandez, Doug Jones part of the ball game. Well, this is getting one of them back in a hurry. 2-2 count, fastball on the inside part of the plate. That dangerous down and in zone to left-handed hitters. Lenny takes it and deposits it in the Phillies bullpen. Deficit cut by 1. Phillies now trail 4-2.
First home run given up by Osuna since he returned to the major leagues, and no outs here in the 7th. Here's Mariano Duncan. He is 1 for 2, and he was hit by a pitch. Chinto has donated another $200 to the Philadelphia Child Guidance Clinic for the home run by Lenny Dykstra. Phillies lead the league in homers. That was their 58th as a team. Well, there is action down in that Houston bullpen. I don't think Artie Howe is all that comfortable with what he's seeing out here, and Doug Jones is up already. We're just in the 7th, and he's got his ace up, his ace closer. Maybe does Artie know more rains on the way?
This is a surprise right here.
Foul back. Well, he's the kind of guy, Teak, with the stuff he throws. You could use him for more than an inning, couldn't you?
You could, but Art Howe normally doesn't like to do it, doesn't like to extend him.
He is not your typical closer, Jones. He's not a hard thrower. He's a junk baller.
Yeah, he's not going to overpower anybody or wear his arm out, but still, he likes to keep him effective by just pitching 1 inning.
That's 3 balls and 1 strike.
The Phillies with a run on the board, and the Astros getting dangerously close to the middle of that Philly lineup again. When you talk about runs being scored in bunches, you normally expect it to come from the middle of the lineup, and that's where the Phillies are approaching right now.
Duncan with a fly ball to left field. Gonzalez has a play. 1 down here in the 7th. Here comes John Kruk. John this evening 1 for 2 plus a walk.
We mentioned Hernandez and Jones, the 2 guys that Art Howe likes to use. Don't even think down toward the bottom of the order. Wouldn't be surprised not to see Fergosi pinch hit for the left-handers because he wants to keep them in the ball game to take a shot at Jones and Hernandez later on.
Strike.
Not that I would anticipate that he would ever pinch hit for Kruk in this situation. No. I'm just saying down the line, the guys that you may pinch hit for.
Lenny now at 286 after 3 hits in this ball game. He had a 4-hit game here Sunday. Inside on Kruk, 1-1. Only twice in his career has Kruk been hit by a pitch. Two balls, 1 strike on John. How about this crowd? There aren't many of them left, but the ones that are here are very vocal and really into every pitch.
Well, they were into it even before the ground crew took the tarp off the field. They were chanting, "Let them play, let them play." So they were ready, and here we are.
Kruk takes a strike, 2-2. Osuna is from Stanford, and at Stanford, one of his teammates there was ex-Phil Ruben Amaro. Pop up but foul out of play. In fact, Osuna was the winning pitcher in the championship game of the College World Series. That was back in 1987. And that year he became Houston's 16th round draft choice. He's from Inglewood, California. Well, it looked like Kruk swung at it. He did. So the out is at first base. That's a strikeout for Osuna, his second. And a 2-3 putout. So Dave Hollins will bat after Kruk strikes out. He's not too happy about things.
Well, very seldom will you see John Kruk swinging a ball this far out of the strike zone. Ball bounces out in front of the plate. Don't know exactly what John was looking for, but he sure didn't get what he was looking for, and that was a pitch way out of the strike zone. As I said, normally Kruk will not swing at those pitches.
Hollins officially 0 for 1 tonight. He has also walked and gotten a run home on a sacrifice fly. Going to look for what? Towel to mop off the plate or what?
I think it was a ball got loose back there somewhere. Don't know how it got there, but that boy runs out and picks it up. We're ready.
Deke, I know early in your career, you when you came in as a reliever and there were no men on base, you worked from a windup, and later on you changed. What is the reason for that?
Well, I started doing it 1 year in spring training because I was having trouble with my shoulder, and it was actually just easier on my arm. What I found later on as I went along was, I didn't gain any velocity or anything by going to the windup. Why not stay with one motion all the time? I just felt I could be a little more consistent with it. And Bruce Sutter was actually the first one to do it. I kind of copied it off him, and now a lot of guys do it.
Does some of the pitchers who have big leg kicks actually gain momentum from that windup?
Well, I think the guys that are power pitchers can gain a little something from it, but unless you're going to throw the ball 92, 93 mile an hour, I don't think it really benefits you that much. And as a reliever, a lot of times you're going to come into the ball game with men on base and have to throw out of the stretch, so you might as well be comfortable.
3 balls, no strikes on Hollins.
Speaking of uncomfortable, Al Osuna cannot be comfortable right now.
Caught the inside corner. 3-1.
In a situation with a 2-run lead where you just have to start pounding fastballs at Hollins, and you throw him the first one that he takes. Now he not only knows that a fastball's coming, but he's got a good look at the speed. He's got a chance to gauge it.
On the corner again. Full count on him. Obviously, with those numbers you just looked at, Hollins is up there batting from the side that he prefers. On the ground to third, foul ball. Caminiti, one of the few guys that, had that been fair, could get a guy out from over there. What a gun for an arm he's got.
Yeah, he's got a cannon. That's why you can play back there by that back line. Not too many third basemen in the league can play that deep because they don't have the arm to get the ball all the way across to first base. That's about a 120-foot throw. Probably a little more than that. There he is, Caminiti.
Yeah, deep end, way over toward the line. Hollins gives it a ride, but it's a high fly foul. Very foul. And very high. You got a heck of a chance of getting one here tonight. You don't have the competition that you usually do.
No, usually the ball's going to land near somebody, but there are areas out there now where it can take a while before somebody can track it down.
Got him. Off-speed pitch. Looked like a breaking ball. Osuna winds up with his third strikeout. Phillies get a run on the homer by Lenny Dykstra, and after 7, it's 4-2 Houston.
Did you know Texaco puts System 3 in every grade of gasoline?
System 3 gets high marks in every grade, which is a lot better than I ever did.
My dad says Texaco puts System 3 in every grade. I'm in the 4th grade.
Of course. That's why I always fill up with System 3. What do I look like? Don't say it.
Visit your Texaco station.
I can get the tires rotated, the car lubed, and still get home in time for the game.
Mow the lawn.
For unbeatable System 3 gasolines and so much more.
Mow the lawn.
Mow the lawn.
You can feel it deep inside. Dedication and a real sense of pride. And you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud.
The Phillies get down to business against the Braves Wednesday, June 23rd, 12:35 in a midweek business person special compliments of Mellon PSFS. Fun in the sun. Pitching against power. Call 463-1000.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. There's a break in the action. Ought to be a great time to break for the great taste of Bud Light. It's a big hit with sports fans everywhere because it won't fill you up and never lets you down. So make it a Bud Light. Andy Musser with Kent DeColvey. It's the 8th inning at Veterans Stadium. And the pitch is fouled back by Anthony. The Astros lead 4-2. Anthony's been the biggest part of it for Houston. He's driven in 2 runs and a 3rd run scored when he singled in the 6th, but he didn't get an RBI as a result of an error on Dykstra. He is 2 out of 3, though. Second inning of work for Mark Davis, who set down the side in turn in the 7th. Got 2 ground balls and a fly ball. He's wearing a tattered undershirt. See that there, Teak? Must be his lucky charm or something, because certainly Mark could afford to get himself a new underjersey. He swung and missed. Dalton scrambles after it, fires to first, got him. Oh, that was close. Anthony strikes out. Dalton just did get him.
We see Anthony swing at this high fastball from Davis. Doesn't realize, because he's all wound up right away, that the ball gets away. Dutch gets on it quickly. Has to hurry his throw. A little bit low, but John, just as he would from a throw from the infielder, stretches out and makes the play just before Anthony gets to first base. A good hustling play by Dalton and a good pick by Kruk. Anthony actually ended up tripping over the bag at first base.
Had he run right away, he would have beat that.
Yeah, had he got out of the box and realized that Dutch didn't catch it, he would have beat it easily.
Caminetti 1 for 3 tonight. RBI single. Curveball missed. 2 balls and no strikes. Caminetti has not been hitting lately for a high average, but he has been knocking in key runs for the Astros, and they need that. He's got 1 RBI tonight and 41 for the year. He and Bagwell tied at that RBI level. Strike. Mark Davis coming on in relief after the rain delay. That'll make it a full count on Caminetti. Gonzalez on deck. Well, the Astros never have a rain delay. They play in the dome down there in Houston, although one time a couple years ago it rained so hard in Houston nobody could get to the dome, and a game was rained out. Smash to the alley in left center. Extra bases for Caminetti. He'll go to second with a double. So he's 2 for 4 in the game. Hit number 6 for Houston.
3-2 count. Davis goes with the breaking ball. It's up and out over the plate. I think he makes a nice play playing this ball cleanly off the wall, but just too deep in left center field to have a shot at Caminetti at second base.
Now coming to the plate, Luis Gonzalez. He has not participated tonight. He is 0 for 3. Slapper on the right side. That stays fair. Kruk makes the play. Second out of the inning. Caminetti scampers to third base. Caminetti with that 2-base hit, his 17th, has tied Lenny Dykstra for the league lead in 2-base hits. The hitter will be Scott Service. Cincinnati catcher Joe Oliver also has 17 2-base hits. Service this evening has fouled out, struck out, and walked.
Phillies able to cut the margin to 4-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Would like to keep that margin right there, so a big out right here for Mark Davis.
Yeah, you're right. That would take the impact out of the home run that Dykstra hit if the Astros turn right around and get it back.
Yeah, it evens the score real quickly, and this late in the game, when you start gaining ground, you don't want to give it back. Still have to get 2 more runs off the Astros to tie this game up, so very important that Davis gets service in this situation.
Did he get him? No, just missed. 1-2.
Well, he said you got to keep that run from scoring. Breaking ball by Davis, down and in. Darren Dalton does a nice job of getting over in front of him and picking it. That ball goes to the backstop. Service doesn't have to produce a run.
You know, Dick, it's amazing how many times that he catches it cleanly in that situation. I mean, the idea is to block it and keep it in front, and so many times he just picks it.
He's able to shift over there in front of it and handle it by himself. No rebound possibilities.
On the corner, Davis gets out of it. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left on base. Coming up the bottom of the 8th, and it's 4-2 Houston.
Major League Baseball Home Video presents Play Ball the Major League way, hitting and base running. You'll master the art of hitting with the inside secrets and advice of Major League coaches.
Very important, you watch the ball all the way in.
Then you'll see Major League stars apply these same techniques. Plus, you'll master the art of base running, a step-by-step guide to give you the extra advantage on the bases. So learn winning baseball with Play Ball the Major League way. Call this number to order hitting and base running, only available through this TV offer. Develop the fundamental skills to excel both on the bases and at bat with Play Ball the Major League way. To order for just $19.95 plus $4 shipping, send check or money order to this address, or use your credit card and call 1-800-255-9200. That's 1-800-255-9200.
Upper Deck asked a few average card collectors whose cards they collect.
I collect Steve Young.
I collect endorsements.
I collect back doctors, surgeons.
Rings. I collect fines.
I just collect fishing lures. The musky dingbat.
Dingbat.
I have a 56 powder blue Chevy. Powder blue?
A Ferrari.
I collect Reggie.
Rolls Royce.
Reggie.
Really?
Not.
Yeah.
The smooth.
Original interior, original carpet, drives like a dream.
It's a replica of a 1933 Phillies cap, free for men 15 and over. Compliments of Texaco when the Phillies play the new Florida Marlins Sunday, June 20th at 1:35. Great way to cap off a weekend. Call 463-1000.
Let's take a Rolaids relief break, because Rolaids spells 100% relief. And we'll take a look at the standings in the Rolaids categories here, the relief categories, and I think Randy Myers had a save today, so his totals are actually a little higher than what you see on the screen.
Yeah, we have to bump Myers up to 49 points from 47, having his 18th save today. Jeff Montgomery on a roll for Kansas City has up to 51 points now.
Here we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Houston on top by a 4-2 score. Dalton takes inside, ball 1. Tough night for Darren. 0 for 3, 2 of them strikeouts. And a couple of times he's been up with men on base. Osuna works him in again, 2-0. Well, we talked about the fact that Jones was warming last inning. Of course, it wasn't necessary to bring him in. Now that we're here in the 8th, I don't think Artie Howe would mind bringing him in at all. And as you said, Teak, that's why these left-handed batters are still in there.
Try to keep the left-handed hitters in the lineup, because you know eventually you're going to have to see Jones, and depending on the situation, you may see Hernandez.
Or that Hernandez makes a lot of appearances. Ball 4. Darren Dalton draws a walk, his 47th of the year. Doug Jones is up. He's been up. Jose De Leon has not been in a ball game for a long, long time for the Phillies, and he's up because the Phillies are getting down on the order, and they'll want to be batting for Mark Davis. Here's Eisenreich. Jim is 0 for 3 tonight, 2 ground balls and a strikeout. The on-deck hitter is Incaviglia. That could be where Jones comes in. The Astro infield turned 1 double play tonight back in the 3rd inning. They're set for 1 here. 1-1. Eisenreich at .338. The double play depth of the Houston infield. Osuna's in that thankless job of middle inning relief. Kyle is the pitcher of record. Osuna knows he's not going to finish the ball game unless he would just breeze right through the hitters, and even then he probably wouldn't. He's given up 1 run. Dalton aboard. In on him. 3-1 on Eisenreich.
And this is bad important because now Eisenreich is the tying run. Can he get on? If Jones comes into the game as we anticipate, Incaviglia becomes the go-ahead run. So 1 big swing of the bat by Inky, and all of a sudden you go from being 2 runs down to 1 run up. But first of all, Eisenreich has to get aboard. And he
does. Back-to-back walks for Osuna. And you can look for Art Howe any second now. Here he is. On cue. Take it away, Artie. Artie, yeah, he's making a double change. He's bringing Kevin Bass into the ball game. So we've got a double change here at Veteran Stadium. 4-2 Houston in the 8th. We'll be right back.
Have a chance to tail back. It was so hard. That had to be 90-92.
And Kieschnick probably won't even get a chance to pitch in the major leagues, drafted as a hitter by the Cubs. Two and 2.
Casio with a good eye the last 2 pitches. Worked the count to 2 and 2. These Cowboy hitters cover the plate.
Fly ball right field. Conway is there. And the inning is over. But the Cowboys have taken the lead as we go to the bottom of the 9th.
In just over a half hour, you're at the door. What do you fix for dinner?
Well, if you're ready to go when I am.
Secure the frame extenders to the housing mount.
Oh, I invited Bobby over.
It's beef.
Hey, Bobby, pull up a chair.
It's what's for dinner. Plex. Simple.
Tail sander. It gets into all those small, tight spaces where other sanders can't reach. And with special add-on accessories, it also prepares surfaces for painting. Scrapes paint and adhesive.
Tying runs on base. Nobody out for the Phillies in the last half of the 8th inning, and the Astros turn to their ace reliever. A double change brings Kevin Bass into play left. He will bat 9th. And the new pitcher is Doug Jones, and he will bat in Gonzalez's spot, the number 6 spot in the batting order. There's Doug. He has had a couple of rocky stretches this year, but he still has a dozen saves. Last year, he was Houston's MVP, saving 36 ball games in 42 tries, a Houston club record.
A guy who was basically out of a job came to the Houston Astros as a non-roster player in spring training, made the club, and then just turned in an outstanding season. Art Howe leaving Al Osuna in the ballgame this inning, trying to get outs against the left-handed hitters, was not able to get them. Good morning, everyone. Osuna was not able to get those outs, and now Jones has to face Incaviglia, who's the potential go-ahead run in this ballgame.
They were teammates last year. Inky tonight 1 for 3, a single. Nobody out. Phillies trail 4-2, tying runs aboard. High bouncer. Cedeno throws to first. They get just the one out, and the runners move along. So I'm not sure that that's exactly what you want out of that at bat, but at least it wasn't totally wasted.
Now, you'd like to get a base hit, obviously, but Hinkie tops the ball in front of the plate, slams it into the ground. By the time Cedeno gets to it, has no choice to make the play at first base. But you do get a bonus out of it in the fact that the runners move up. So now a base hit by Mickey Morandini, good chance that this ball game can be tied.
Mickey 1 for 2. Milt Thompson in the on-deck circle. The bat for Mark Davis next. Low and in, ball 1. Take one of the pitches that Jones throws. He's got an assortment of junk, doesn't he?
He's got 3 different changeups: slow, slower, and stop.
Stop, huh?
He's got one that takes a lunch break on the way to the plate.
In the air to left center, running hard, Finley. He's so good in the outfield. Tagging at third is Dalton. He scores. It's a 1-run ball game. Morandini with an RBI, his 10th. 2 outs.
So the Phillies cut it to 4-3. Morandini does the job, gets the bat on the ball, gets it in the air deep enough to the outfield to score Dalton from third base. Finley comes over, doesn't make any attempt at all to make a play on Dalton. He wants to keep Eisenreich at second base. So Morandini gets the Phillies within 1 run. Now Milt Thompson pinch hitting for Mark Davis, trying to pick up that other run and tie the ball game up.
Thompson at .225 for the year. No homers, 18 runs batted in for Milt. On the corner for a strike. Milt is 0 for 5 as a pinch hitter. Mark Davis went 2 innings for the Phillies, 1 hit, no runs. That's a good outing for Mark, considering he hadn't pitched in a couple of weeks. Way almost got him way inside. Stay loose, Milt. You wouldn't get hurt if you were hit by one of his pitches, but still.
Time to do some exercises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's it.
Get your work in, Mildy. That's the way.
Ooh. Throw through. Back in time is Eisenreich. Wild Thing is up, along with Jose.
New pitcher will probably be determined by what Milt Thompson does in this at bat.
You think he would bring Williams into a tie ball game?
I think he might.
In the air to center, a play for Finley. And the Phillies get a run, but the Astros maintain the lead. In the 8th, 1 run without a hit and 1 man left on base. So we go to the 9th, and it's 4-3 Houston.
In a game rich with traditions, Sherwin-Williams has created one of its own by preserving and protecting the national shrines of our national pastime. This is the paint of the pros, and it's the choice of millions of fans at home. And while your town may not have a big league ballpark in it, it does have a big league paint store. The pros know. Ask Sherwin-Williams.
I'm a real wild one, wild one.
When it comes to clean, fresh taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Up, down, Bart.
Bud Light delivers.
The Phillies take on the West in 7 big games. First, 3 with the Dodgers, Monday, July 5th, Tuesday, July 6th, and Wednesday, July 7th, all at 7:35. Followed by 4 against the Giants with Bonds, Clark, and Williams. Thursday, July 8th, and Friday, July 9th at 7:35. Saturday, July 10th at 3 o'clock. And then all kids 14 and under get a free batting practice jersey Sunday, July 11th at 1:35. Call 463-1000.
The scoreboard, the Cardinals beat the Giants today 4-3. Montreal over Cincinnati 4-2. Colorado beat Pittsburgh. There was a long rain delay in that one. Cubs were winners over the Mets, and Anthony Young lost another one. He's lost 20 in a row. Atlanta leading San Diego in the 8th. Los Angeles over Florida there in the 5th. American League, Cleveland over Boston. Toronto walloped California. Baltimore leads Oakland. There was a rain delay in that one. Detroit 4-2 over Chicago. They waited a long time to get started. And Milwaukee ahead of Seattle 2-0 in the 6th, and rain figured in that one. Minnesota 3-2 over Texas, final in 10. And the Yankees beat Kansas City 9-4. De Leon, the pitcher for the Phillies. Leading off for Houston is Cedeno. Fly ball to center. Dykstra's got it, 1 pitch and 1 out in the 9th. Houston leading 4-3. Jose De Leon on in relief. And we haven't seen Jose for quite a while.
We said Mark Davis hadn't pitched in 15 days. Jose De Leon has not pitched in 27 days.
May 11th, the last time when he started that game in Florida, which we had on Sports Channel.
That's right. Exactly correct.
Kevin Bass now batting out of the 9 spot, will bat next. Bass hitting at .268, a homer, 12 runs batted in. He was a starter in last night's game, played center field. Said it was the first time he had started in center field since the mid-80s. He's in left field now. Second stint with the Astros. Last year with the Giants and Mets.
Mark Davis had not pitched in 15 days. Pitches 2 good strong innings. Now De Leon on 27 days rest. You're flinching, Andy. That was down below us. Not
just by a little, but it was straight at us, though. I mean, you know, you gotta show that you're in form. You gotta prove that you can still move.
Don't panic.
I guess you'd save me if it came right at me, huh?
I'd push you out of the way. Not that I was going to try to catch it, but I'd push it out of the way.
One and 2.
Jose's job, keep the Astros right where they're at. 1 run down.
Close. Phillies have been pecking away. 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, but still 1 down here in the 9th. 4-3. Two and 2 on Bass. Kevin in a spot there where he was just destroying a pitch. Kevin set the National League record, most games with homers from both sides of the plate. 4. He's done it 4 times. Line drive, right field. Eisenreich charges and catches. He is a slick fielder. He made that look easy, and that was not an easy play.
Jim Eisenreich makes a nice play on this ball only because he gets a great jump on it. As soon as the ball came off of Bass's bat, Eisenreich was off like a shot, charging straight in, able to catch the ball about knee high. If he hesitates at all, he does not make that play, but he read the ball perfectly off the bat, got a good jump, made the play easily.
Biggio, he's hit. Biggio hit in the shoulder. De Leon didn't want to do that.
I mentioned De Leon hasn't thrown for a while, tries to throw the fastball in, rides up and in, catches Biggio right below the shoulder, it looks like.
Top of the arm, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's another one of those ones that doesn't feel bad right now, but later on when that baby starts stiffening up.
That'll hurt.
Yeah.
Finley 1 for 4. And some nice plays in the outfield. Bullet. It's a fair ball. That's trouble. That is trouble. Biggio going to third. It's a ground rule double, and the Phillies, or is it? Well, Biggio's coming to the plate, but circling back.
Biggio doesn't know what's going on. He's heading for first base. Yeah. That ball hit just inside the right field line. One hopped into the lower stands right along as they jut out next to the right field line.
That's a break for the Phillies, Tika. I think he would have scored on that ball had it not hopped out.
Yeah, that ball was into the corner and was going to be very difficult with Biggio with the good speed to keep him from scoring. It's going to take a tremendous relay as we see the ball hits on the line and then caroms right into those lower box seats. So as you mentioned, the Phillies do get a break.
Now a little conference here. We're back in that key spot in the ball game once again. The Phillies desperately want to keep this to a 1-run deficit. So Bagwell, player of the month last month in the NL, is a guy that De Leon must retire.
De Leon in the same situation Davis was in last inning.
Ground ball to short. Duncan's got it. The ball is dropped. 2-run score. The Astros get 2. It is a 6-3 ball game as the Phillies are unable to execute that play. It'll be an error on Duncan. And the Astros get 2.
Well, De Leon did what you wanted him to do. He got the ground ball from Bagwell on the first pitch. Hit sharply right to Duncan. Fields it cleanly. The throw just sails up wide to the first base side. Now Crooker comes off the bag and still has a chance. Goes to make the play. Tags Bagwell in the head with the ball, but the collision with the helmet knocks the ball out of Kruk's glove. Routine play, plenty of time. Just an errant throw by Duncan. Bad break right there.
Yes, it is. Batter is Anthony. He takes a called strike. Anthony has 2 hits in the ball game, so it's 6-3 Astros, top of the 9th. Phillies battled so hard to get back in this. Anthony with the big blow of the ball game, a 2-run triple in the first inning tonight when they gave him a light on a 3-0 count. There have been 2 errors by the Phillies tonight. The other one, although it looked like it was costly at the time, as the inning wore along, it did not figure in the scoring and the runs were earned. These runs will not be earned.
Well, the first error by Dykstra, the run was earned because of an intentional walk later on in the inning, was caused by the situation. So it actually did cost, at least potentially cost a run. This one definitely cost 2.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Anthony. Baggy at second. Just missed. That was a close pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Gave him a breaking ball. Well, he had the base open, but he's got Caminiti the face here. So the Astros have 2 on with 2 outs, and Caminiti will come up, and he has a single and a double tonight. 2 for 4 has driven in 1 run. High pop-up should be caught. Kruk had to get past the umpire. And there he is, catching that foul pop to end the inning. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 men left on base. It's 6-3 Houston.
Major League Baseball Home Video presents...
We're back!
Now it can be heard, the sounds of baseball. This is the baseball video that puts you on the field to hear the game as never before.
They said we got to take the lead right here. Take the lead. First inning.
You're going to put him in jail?
I'm not going to put him in jail.
Straighten the batter's box. You never making it up? He's not making it up.
Host Tommy Lasorda takes you behind the closed doors to reveal the secret strategy in team meetings and some Major League Clubhouse practical jokes. Plus, candid moments with today's superstars. Now it can be heard.
Yeah.
Do you want to order?
Yeah.
Well, to order, send check or money order to this address. Or use your credit card and call 1-800-255-9200. That's 1-800-255-9200.
Trouble with heartburn? Well, you could change your job, change your lifestyle, change your diet.
Bon appetit.
Or better still, reach for Rolaids. It absorbs acid fast to bring 100% relief to millions. So maybe you can't change your life, but you can get relief in original and calcium-rich. Rolaids spells relief.
Spectacular fireworks timed to magnificent music after the San Diego doubleheader Friday, July 2nd at 4:35, and again Saturday, July 3rd after the 7:05 game. Compliments of Mellon PSFS. Call 463-1000.
Lenny Dykstra takes a called strike to start the bottom of the ninth. It's 6-3 Houston. Boy, if this was still a one-run ball game, this would be interesting now. Lenny's been on base 3 straight times, homered his last time up. Already has 1 4-hit game this week. Now facing Doug Jones. Lenny has his average at .286. Pop foul, back out of play. A couple of unearned runs for the Astros, but they count just the same as the earned runs. And the Phillies just unable to find anybody who can play shortstop day in and day out and make all the plays.
Come on, Lenny. Get started.
Jammed him, and a roller down to Biggio. Lenny is out, 1 down. Here comes Duncan. Mariano 1 for 3 tonight to extend his hitting streak to 13 straight ball games. Mariano in his career facing Doug Jones is 2 for 6. Look out, coming right at him. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Dunk already hit by a pitch once tonight.
Yeah, the starter Darryl Kyle plunked 2 of them tonight. 2-1. Oh, you still need a couple of guys on and get the big guys up there.
Right, at least you're in the right part of the order.
Oh yeah. Strike, 2-2.
As you mentioned at the top of the inning, obviously the Phillies would have been in a decent position. You never like to go into the 9th inning down a run against Doug Jones, but a decent position down by 1 run. If Lenny can get on and make something happen, a lot of possibilities. The assignment a little more difficult now because of the 3-run lead, but nonetheless, the Phillies still in a position where if you can get those guys on, you're going to have the right guys coming to the plate.
And it's a full count on Mariano.
So even though the assignment is much more difficult now because of the error in the top of the inning and the 2 extra runs that the Astros were put on the board, Phillies have to play the hand that's dealt to them, and that is right now means get some guys on base.
Here's a bouncer to third. Caminiti's got it. 2 outs. Well, the homestand ends tomorrow night for the Phillies. They'll be up against these Astros again. Terry Mulholland and Pete Harnisch. There's the number for your tickets. And actually, that is tonight, is it not?
Yes, this evening.
We printed that up a little too early, didn't we? John Kruk will be the hitter. Kruk tonight is 1 for 3 plus a walk. Kruk is 3 for 4 in his career, including 1 for 1 this year off Jones. Takes a strike. The Astros have lost 4 straight to the Phillies. Fly ball, left field side, probably is going to get out of play. Yep. 0-2 on Kruk. John had 357 at this moment. He's had a good year just against Houston. He is 8 for 18 just off Houston pitching. Hit to center field. Finley misjudged that a little, but caught it to end the ball game. Finley didn't pick it up right away, but he makes the play, and the Astros hang on despite the long rain delay of an hour 51 minutes. They beat the Phillies 6-3. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel.